a girl a promise. If you know you can't keep it. They let me pick. Did I ever tell you that? Choose whichever Spartan I wanted. You know me. I did my
Oh, hey, Emoto, when did you get in here? Thankfully, there was no piggy spam. I wonder if I can do that, though, for the emote explosion. I'll have to test it out. Maybe a little bit. Okay, I believe that the last time I streamed was like in April or something. I had been doing a whole bunch of work on my project. If you know what it is, you know. If you don't know, then hopefully it'll be super duper cool once it's finally finished. And I also do need to practice for Monday because Monday is my birthday, so we will be doing my birthday stream. Hello, thank you Emote for the 63 months. I did switch over to, what was it? From Streamlabs to Stream Elements, so I don't know if everything transferred over okay, but hopefully it did. Okay, so I think I have everything set up properly. If not, then something spooky might show up on screen that I did not intend. But as far as I'm aware, everything should be okay. Okay, so I found a couple of articles. I don't know what to expect from this first one. Let's see what happens. This is from The Times. Disney World axes offensive bear Liver Lips McGrowl from show. Country Bear Jamboree character has been replaced at the Florida theme park to avoid offending alcoholics, but critics accuse bosses of going woke. This was published Thursday, July 18th, 2024. So I have no idea who this character is. Clearly it's like a Disney Florida region character. So I have... I don't know what to expect, so let's see. The animatronic bear... Is he Freddy Fazbear? The animatronic bear, which has featured in the Country Bear Jamboree for 50 years, did not appear when the show returned this week after a hiatus. The term liver lips is linked with excessive alcohol consumption and has historically been associated with racist stereotypes. I have never heard this term, so I have no idea the veracity of these claims regarding excessive alcoholic consumption and or racist stereotypes. So let's see. Has been removed from one of its live shows due to concerns its name was offensive to alcoholics. Liver Lips McGraw, an animatronic bear that has starred in the Country Bear Jamboree at the Magic Kingdom in Florida for 50 years, did not appear when the show returned this week after a 7-month hiatus. Liver Lips has been replaced by a new character named Romeo McGraw, who has his predecessor's large pout, but is dressed in a sky blue jumpsuit and has blonde hair. It's the same bear. Look, his lips are exactly the same. They just changed the color of his fur and his outfit. Romeo McGraw reflects Disney's commitment to creating a more, quote, inclusive and respectful environment for its guests. What, make him gay? These look like pretty gay colors, but I wouldn't particularly know since I go more for the all black colors. The term liver lips describes large swollen lips and is linked with excessive alcohol consumption and liver damage. It has also historically been associated with racist stereotypes of African Americans. The name Liver Lips is now considered, quote, insensitive and outdated, end quote, and the character's reboot reflects Disney's commitment to creating a more inclusive and respectful environment for its guests, according to the blog Inside the Magic. We gotta go look at what this looks like. What's this called again? The Country Bear Jamboree. Oh, there's a full 4K. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here is the Country Bear Musical Jamboree. I like the art style. It looks kind of like those 90s cartoons. There's like a whole museum in here. Now all of this lore for these made-up characters. There's a little baby Yoda.
And you can take all the photos and video you like. Just please, no flash photography or video lighting. We've already got Rufus on Spotlight. Ready to start? Give us a little intro there, Gomer.
This looks pretty cool, actually. yeah, this is fucking awesome. What the heck? There's a song called Kiss the Girl. I hope this doesn't get copy striked on YouTube. It should be okay, though. Oh, is that him? I think this is the new guy. Look, Romeo McGraw, who dethroned what was the guy's name? Liverlips McSomething. Yeah, because this was posted 8 days ago. So this is the new guy. Okay, I'll go ahead and post this in the music channel in Discord. There you go. You can join the Discord by typing !Discord exclamation mark. Why do I keep saying exclamation point? Where the heck did I get that from? Exclamation mark Discord in the chat. So, yep, there you go. No longer racist. We are heading further and further away from our ancestors. I don't know why they have a song called Kiss the Girl. I thought women were supposed to like bears, so I don't know what's the woman's stance on this bear here. Do they dislike that the bear has been kicked off, or do they like that the bear is gone for supposedly racist things? I'm a little confused. I'm not sure what the feminist position on this is. We'll have to go run some studies. Let's see. Next article. BBC published 8 hours ago. Slapping therapist guilty of manslaughter. Oh, speaking of zooming in and out, I think both my mouse and keyboard are a little spooky. Sometimes when I press W, it works. Sometimes it doesn't. And W is a pretty important key when I'm playing certain video games. I cleaned it a couple days ago, and it does seem to be a little bit better. This looks like quite a lot better, actually. But it is annoying when I'm trying to close a window, Control W, and sometimes it doesn't go through. Do you want a story before it makes the news? What's that supposed to mean? Is there another cloud strike that's gonna happen soon that you are privy to that nobody else is aware of? I mean, if you have something to share, yeah, sure. I will read what you type. Let's pull that up. Supposedly, Emotes has something in chat here to say. Although, I guess chat's already here. Oh, wait, speaking of chat. Chat, is this true? YouTube chat. What's going on with YouTube chat? Is Botrix working? Is it still being retarded after like 3 months? Is this one Botrix? Is this one Botrix? Fuck. Fuck. Okay. Does YouTube show up there too? It does not. Botrix, why are you like this? Okay, let's open this one. Do this. Do this. That should work. Okay, there we go. I don't know why YouTube chat's always retarded with Botrix. Fuck that guy. Okay, Emoto says in Twitch chat, a streamer is about to use years worth of chat history without asking consent from his chatters for AI stuff. When prompted about the matters of privacy and consent, he said, quote, "I would rather ask for forgiveness than for permission." And no one in his chat of thousands of viewers seems too concerned. Yeah, so you didn't specify for what it would be used for. I'm assuming you mean this in terms of training an AI model or something? Yes, AI training. Chat, is this true? Streamer in question is a Doug. I think I've seen that name, but I don't know anything. I don't really watch streamers. Have a clip of him talking about it. Well, I mean, depending on the age of chatters, it might make sense that they might not be too concerned. But for older people who might still have at least a little bit of concern about privacy, then somebody in that cohort, in that age range, might be a bit more spooked. Still waiting for him to reply to my emails, and then I'll contact Murahara or something. This is unacceptable, says Emoto. I think for certain things, like asking for forgiveness rather than permission, that is a meme about typically used like for business things. Like if your assignment is to do X, and if you can do X quicker or faster or cheaper, do that way and then ask your boss for forgiveness rather than permission, because it will just slow you down. I don't think in this case it works as well because of matters of privacy and consent. I'm pretty sure that's what that meme is from. Let's go look it up. I'd rather ask for forgiveness, for permission rather, for forgiveness than permission. What the heck is this? There's changelog.com. Never heard of this site. What Admiral Grace Hopper really meant when she said it's easier to ask forgiveness than it is to get permission. She was a military officer in a large organization. If you've ever worked at a company or an organization that operates at that kind of global scale, it's very hard to get permission to do anything because you need to go up 3 or 4 levels in the hierarchy above your boss to get permission, especially if there's no cost to the organization and substantial benefit. So, quote, ask forgiveness, not permission meant do the right thing within the organization, whether or not they know it. That way, you can help people that you work for. It did not mean move the extrinsic costs to the public domain so that we can profit. I guess that's slightly different here, but I'm not sure what exactly the point that the author is making here. What the heck? Pat, just chill. Ivy, you afraid of her? She didn't do nothing. She didn't do nothing. Patches is being a little bit loud, so you might hear her in the background. Patches. That is very different. You're not doing anything illegal if you're not asking your boss. Yeah, that is, well, unless you are doing something illegal in the process of whatever it is. But yeah, in this case, definitely, I can see the point of being a privacy and consent issue. Patches, chill. Chill, buddy. Chill, buddy. Okay, so who is this guy? Doug? How many peoples does he have who watches him? I think you may have mentioned him before, but I don't really know what he does. Oh, nice. March 14th, 2024, Doug anti-YouTube thread, mega thread. Patches, come here. By the way, you have any ideas as to whom I could contact with the story? Let me know. Don't think Lewis will care too much about a streamer. It depends. Does he have a company or a business that will use this training for something? Is he going to make a product from it to make a profit, or is it for like personal stuff? Because if it's something like that, where it's going to be used to sell stuff, then I can imagine Lewis might be interested. He's just making an AI chatbot to animate his stream. I see. I can see that being okay, but again, yeah, the consent would make it way better than just doing it without permission. And yeah, I think the biggest thing is clearly the age of the people involved. They're young enough that they grew up in a world without really any privacy at all, where they were kind of opted into not having any privacy by being given a phone by their parents. Then I don't think most of the audience who are on the younger side would really care. Yeah, I definitely think Muda would be the YouTuber to go to. I don't really watch too many I guess I would call them like a mixture of tech news people. I don't know. I don't really know who else aside from like Muda I could possibly offer. How about that guy you post that covers esports sometimes? Oh, Richard Lewis. Maybe. Patches. Richard Lewis esports. I think most of the stuff he covers tends to be like world news. I guess he did do the Dr. Disrespect thing, the Dr. PDF thing, but yeah, you could reach out to him too. Does he have a public email? I am not sure. R. Lewis Reports is his handle. I know you don't have well, he did tweet this. He says, "There's something horrifying but fitting about the fact that the lolcow content factory has reverted back to the bum fights formula," with a picture of Boogie's tattoo. Nice meme. Yeah, I don't know if he has an email. He has a Substack. Fuck. He's in cringe politics. Yeah, I wouldn't know the best way to contact him other than like a Twitter DM. Stuck in circulation is a collection of poems. Let me pull it up. Jamie, pull that shit up. I think it's this. What the heck? I was shop. That's what it is. Here be the link. I don't think there will be a yearly NECA. My NECA. collection of poems that I mostly, I guess maybe like half of them were written while I was stuck working the circulation desk at the library at universities. Easy peasy. Well, I mean, doing stories on stream is sort of like the replacement for it, except I can't really do the pop-up the memes stuff. And so that's part of the reason why I like reading articles, other than the fact that some of them are funny. And then I do have some other stuff later for Bigfeets and spooky aliens, so there is that. Oh, before we get any further, let me reveal the thumbnail for Monday's birthday stream. You saw it here first, folks. I started I started a randomized Nuzlocke on Pokemon's Crystal, and I wanted to finish it, but I had to reinstall Windows, and in the process I completely forgot to save those save files. And so that's gone, and I cannot continue where I left off. So, for Monday's birthday stream, I will begin a Pokemon's Coliseum randomized Nuzlocke. And the problem with Coliseum and XD is that there are no wild Pokemons. It works differently, and you have a very limited number of potential Pokemons you can catch. And there is no consensus on the one correct way to play a Nuzlocke on the GameCube games. The handful of rules that they like to do for Coliseum and XD, people tend to capture all of the shadow Pokemons because your options are so limited. And they also let you use items in battle, which they typically don't. I don't think I really like that rule. I don't think it makes too much of a difference. But they are willing to make exceptions for these two. I think what I will do, because they're all double battles, what I will do, I will capture the first 2 Pokemon in each area, and then the rest I can just knock them out. They do appear later at some points in certain areas. I believe there's a Battle Coliseum where Patches shows up. Patches! Where a shadow Pokemon who you did not capture will appear. And so I might not capture those either. I don't know what the order is. For instance, if I captured these first 2, Noctowl and Ampharos in Pyrite Town, I think the first one to appear in the Coliseum would be this Jumpluff. Or if it's randomized. I assume it's in order. So I think that's what I'll do. First of all, it makes it difficult in that I have limited options. Doing it the way most people do, I will have access to all of the Pokemons. But doing it my way, with only the first 2, I will pick a random trainer to go up to, and so that's another randomized option thing there. And it will lead me much closer to a lose state in which I can lose my entire party because I have only picked the first 2. So I think that's what I'll do, and that will start on Monday. So that's my rules that I'm doing. Anyway. What? What happened? What happened? What? Come here. Come here. Okay, well, she's just gonna keep me loud. So yeah, I will just say send 2 Moreheads, and I guess send me whatever you have, and I'll send that to Richard Lewis. See if he's at all interested in it. He will probably reach out to him, ask him for a comment. I don't know if he's talked too much about AI, but I do believe he is pro-consumer rights. Let's see. He was very good friends with Total Biscuit, and so they are kind of aligned in consumer rights and consumer advocacy, or customer advocacy. Dr. No Respect. The Math Cell. Yeah, well, we'll see if something comes of your Doug stuff, your Dig Dug stuff. Okay, slapping therapist guilty of manslaughter. An alternative healer has been found guilty of gross negligence manslaughter. Wait, gross negligence manslaughter? Wouldn't it be gross negligent manslaughter? Where is this? Is this in the UK? He is from California. Did this happen on US soil? The jury at Winchester Crown Court. That does not sound like US soil. So he's Chinese, from America, in the UK. How do the laws apply here? Oh no. Hong Chi Xiao, 61, of Cloudbreak in California, was convicted after 71-year-old Danielle Carr-Gom died from complications related to diabetes in 2016. The jury at the Winchester Crown Court was told she had stopped taking insulin while at a retreat in Wiltshire, where Xiao promoted slapping therapy as a cure for the condition. Okay, I am not a doctor, and I am not a lawyer, and I don't think medically you can slap someone of diabetes. You can you can cure someone of diabetes by slapping them. However, there are a lot of people, especially these days, who grew up on the internet, who will be probably very cured of their behavioral issues by receiving one, if not multiple slaps. And I think that's my limited understanding of medical advice regarding slapping, the medical efficacy of slapping as a cure. The jury returned a majority verdict. I don't know what the heck that means. Majority verdict of 11 to 1 on Friday after 19 hours and 30 minutes of deliberations. Mr. Justice Robert Bright said the jury asked lots of questions and were a, quote, shining example, end quote, of the jury system that, quote, we should all be proud of. Mrs. Carr-Gom from Lewes in East Sussex had type 1 diabetes, meaning she had to take insulin every day to keep her blood glucose levels under control. Yet, she had a lifelong fear of needles. Oof, that's the worst. If you need some kind of a needle injection for your treatment, but you're afraid of them. She had a lifelong fear of needles and had frequently sought other ways to deal with the disease. She first attended, what the heck is this? PAIDA Lajin workshop led by Zhao in Bulgaria in July 2016. Oh my god, these guys are going all over the world. They started in China and the UK, and then he went to California, and then he went to Sussex, and then they went to Bulgaria. Oh my god. These guys are like Indiana Jones. Paida Lajin means which means slapping and stretching is a therapy in which people slap themselves and others in order to expel toxins from the body. Miss Cargom believed it worked and delivered glowing testimonials, the court heard. Quote, howling in pain. She decided to attend another of Zhao's workshops at Cleve House in Seend, Wiltshire. I thought that said Sneed at first. But it says Seend, Wiltshire in October 2016. Prosecutor Duncan Atkinson said Miss Cargom announced that on the first day of the workshop she had stopped taking her insulin, which Zhao congratulated her on. Oh my goodness. Alongside other attendees, she began to fast, but soon fell seriously unwell, tired, weak, and howling in pain by day 3. By day 4, Miss Cargom had died of diabetic ketoacidosis. What's that do? Diabetic ketoacidosis is a potentially life-threatening complication of diabetes mellitus. Signs and symptoms may include vomiting, abdominal pain, deep gasping, breathing, increased urination, weakness, confusion, and occasionally loss of consciousness. A person's breath may develop a specifically fruity smell. The onset of symptoms is usually rapid. Oh, okay, that explains how quickly it happened. People without a previous diagnosis of diabetes may develop DKA at the first obvious symptom. Unlucky. When I first saw this headline, I was remembering I'm sure most people who are 20 and or older will know. I don't remember his name, but he had they were on a beach. The guy was pretending to be in a trance or something. Then he charged at a group of people and they parted ways except for this one woman. And so he rammed into her. And then the guy notices that she's in severe pain and he fucked up. And then he pretends to have a seizure. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Beach. Let's put beach seizure guy. Does that bring it up? No, this doesn't bring it up. Fuck. Guy rams into woman. It looks like it's this one here. Okay, yeah, this is it. This is it. This guy.
We can do it. Let's go. Sure.
It's so old you can see the interlacing. Patches? Oh my god. Look at this guy, what the heck is he doing? What is bro doing? Oh my god, why am I here? Patches.
You ready? Yes, come here. You stand here, and Magnus and Rebecca, you prepare her.
Oh no. Just make a copy strike there for the music. Punk. This is and then her. I think he probably broke her nose. Because I think her eyes were closed. They were doing a yoga meditation kind of thing. Why did this woman here in the gray, why did she move him but not her? Maybe she assumed the woman in white's eyes were open? Unlucky. He notices, he's looking at her, he's like, uh-oh, I done goofed it. And then he starts having his own seizure. Her back is in pain, and there he goes. There he goes. Well, that's what I thought of when I saw this this headline. Whatever happened to that guy? Let me go see. What's this guy's name? We follow a middle-aged, mojo-worn Lothario, a Swedish pop star, a Hawaiian hippie, and an emotional Finnish grandma. Oh, and Nick, who... How did this end up happening? Fuck. Well, I'll go look into this guy later. Well, do not ever trust these unlicensed medical dudes with their spooky little tricks. You heard it here first. Okay. Let me do this article here, and then we'll get into the art afterward. Okay, this is from Popular Mechanics, published June 20th, 2024 by Kyle Mizokami. You're ready to have your skull pressed. What the heck? Is that what was showing up here at the bottom? The skull press? Oh, hey, Aunt Maria, when did you get in here? So I saw this article initially, and the entire page is paywalled. So we have an archive here. I don't know why you would paywall your work if I have no idea what to expect. If this is the first time I visited your site, why would you paywall something without me knowing what I'm going to pay for? It's a little weird. Yeah, the skull press is my publishing company, where you can grab my poems and one of my stories. They are published under the Midnight Skull Press. So if you ever have a desire to have your Midnight Skull pressed, you can definitely check these out. I did MDMA 3.5 hours ago and been glued to your couch. What? Is the world too heavy now? Is the gravity much stronger while you are on MDMA? Is that why you're glued? Or are you too scared to get up? If your mind is a little out there, then this spooky story about UFOs might be too much for you. Yeah, it's just kind of like what? Kind of like what? Kind of like when you do MDMA, whatever you are doing, when it kicks in, is very enjoyable. Oh, okay. So laying in the couch is very enjoyable. Even much more enjoyable than it would typically be, based on what you're saying here. I think all I've ever done is like one lollipop that has the magic leaves in it, the magic green leaves in it, but it wasn't strong enough, so I didn't really feel anything. Yes, OMG, absolutely enjoyable now that I'm watching the stream. Easy peasy. Well, hopefully, I do have a couple of Bigfoot topics coming up, so try not to get too comfortable with the Bigfeets, or too scared of the Bigfeets. yeah, I'd be down to try again. I don't know if it was just so little that I could barely feel anything, or if it was so little that there was nothing to feel at all to begin with. There are these gummy bears. I don't know if I can link it or show it on screen. There are these gummy bears that have the oil, I think. I forget what it's called, but they're gummy bears that have the thing that helps you relax. And I have been wanting to get those. I have never been able to get them when I was back in New York because they hate fun in New York City. But I think I'm allowed to order them here, and I still haven't done so. Yes, CBD, that one. First time people don't feel it usually. Oh, okay. It might have been then a mixture of first time as well as not strong enough. Yeah, but I do have to be very, very careful to not mix up the CBD gummy bears with the real sugar gummy bears, because otherwise I'm gonna become too leafy, and if you're too leafy, then it's pretty spooky. Okay, Popular Mechanics is the publisher of this article. UFOs are invading Japan's airspace, and authorities are digging deep to find the truth. Do the aircraft come from foreign adversaries or somewhere more extraterrestrial? CBD doesn't get you high, THC does. Yeah, I don't think there are THC gummy bears that I saw from that one website, but I'll definitely look into both. Yeah, I do believe the CBD ones are for, like, to help you relax, to just chill out for a bit. Japanese lawmakers will investigate sightings of so-called unidentified aerial phenomena taking place in the skies over Japan. Japan is following the U.S. lead of conducting a government-level investigation into sightings. The concerns is that the sightings may be of Chinese aircraft intruding into Japanese airspace. Authorities from which country? Authorities from Japan. Because these spooky UFOs are flying over Japan. So the Japanese government will be making their UFO group, their X-Files Fox Mulder group. I need to relax? Why do I need to relax for? What the heck? Why are you telling me to relax? You need to relax because women are made to rest and chill, smell nice, and look beautiful. I suppose that's mostly true, unless you're working in the garden, then you're meant to dig into the ground, put your seeds inside Mother Nature, and sweat while doing it. It's very hard work. Members of the Japanese government will investigate recent sightings of unidentified aerial phenomena to determine if the sightings are credible. The group will work to determine if the spotted craft are in any way a threat to Japan's security. While the Japanese group is open to exploring all sightings, their focus is very much on the possibility of earthbound threats, especially from neighboring China, rather than extraterrestrial ones. According to GG Press, the group consists of approximately 80 Japanese lawmakers, including the ruling Liberal Democratic Party's parliamentary affairs leader, and 3 former defense ministers. The group, mostly drawn from Japan's legislative body, or Diet, is that what it's called? What the heck? That's a good name. That's a good acronym. Believes the UAP phenomena is under scrutinized by the government, especially in light of recent sightings of unidentified objects in and around Japan. I think they had the picture here. This one, yeah. That one supposed spy craft that was in the U.S. This was last February? What the heck? A Chinese spy balloon flies over Charlotte, North Carolina, February 2023, shortly before it was shot down. I wonder if these are the kinds of things that they're spotting over Japan. The as yet untitled group has decided to include the term unidentified anomalous phenomena in its name. UAP is a term recently promulgated by the U.S. Department of Defense to differentiate its own investigative effort from past efforts to study unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, which have strong associations with flying saucers and possible extraterrestrial sightings. So far, the group lacks any direct government or agency support. Like the Ministry of Defense or the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAXA, the Japanese equivalent of NASA. That said, as lawmakers, the investigators can approve spending to involve these agencies in UAP analyses. Like most countries, Japan has traditionally not paid a lot of attention to UFO sightings. A number of factors have boosted awareness of UAPs. A number of high-profile sightings reported by U.S. military pilots, radar operators, and other personnel. The development of unmanned aerial vehicles or drones, and China's use of balloons to collect intelligence regarding foreign countries. The broad concern is that China or Russia could be behind the sightings. The greatest concern is that either country might have experienced a technological breakthrough that allows its aircraft to conduct aerial maneuvers that are impossible by today's standards. In 2004, for example, Navy personnel reported monitoring craft that could fly up to 7,200 miles an hour, faster than the fastest known aircraft, and quickly change the altitude, going from 20,000 feet to 80,000 feet in a matter of moments. Any military aircraft capable of such maneuvers would have a decisive advantage over an American or Japanese aircraft. Based off what little I have seen of North Korean and Chinese rocketry, it is unlikely that these are Chinese aircraft. They could possibly be Russian aircraft. I don't know much about the Russian space program, other than the fact that they lost the race to the moon. But, major big but, it is possible that the only things we see about Chinese rocketry in video is what they want us to see, to keep these super spooky, super fast aircraft, these super advanced aircraft, secrets from us. So that is a possibility, but quite unlikely. UAP is the university I went to. What the heck? The University of Awesome Poles? Is that what that is? Another possibility is that a foreign power might conduct espionage against Japan using drones or balloons, and that sightings of such devices could be chalked up to sightings of alien craft. It's the spooky aliens! And as a result, not be taken seriously. A Chinese drone could literally operate in plain sight with eyewitnesses ridiculed by the authorities, as it gathered sensitive intelligence about Japanese political, military, and economic targets. That's about halfway through the article. I think that's where I'll keep it. Unless... After the incidents were made public, Japanese Defense Minister Yasukazu Hamada told the press that the Self-Defense Forces, Japan's armed forces, will be allowed to use weapons including air-to-air missiles in dealing with the craft that violate Japanese airspace. In 2021, the Asahi Shimbun reported that the members of the Air Defense Force had on at least 2 occasions reported seeing unusual flying craft. This looks photoshopped, but I don't think it is. There's like this hue around this radio tower thing, but I'm pretty sure that's just a cloud. It's about time other countries started getting UFO sightings instead of only the US in the middle of nowhere where the hillbillies are. Yeah, you like my version of the name better? University of Art in Poznan. How do I pronounce that? Poznan? Poznan? Well, I'm pretty sure that they're saying here that there were some military personnel who recorded, or who, it said eyewitnesses here, a Chinese drone could operate in plain sight. They mentioned somewhere that they spotted it here. In 2004, Navy personnel reported monitoring craft at 7,200 miles per hour. and then elevated from 20 to 80,000 feet in a matter of moments. This was, though, 20 years ago. 2004 was 20 years ago. Whoa. Bush nanny.
Patches? What? Patches?
So what the heck? Why are you even awake right now? It's like 4 a.m. for you. Maria, why are you awake? What the heck? Let me go look up on... Or hang on, I can look up on Wikipedia, right? They'll have the pronunciation. Wikipedia.
Poznań.
Poznań is a city on the river. I guess I don't. Just in case, I know you have a history with people on the internet. You're awake at 4 a.m. because you're on MDMA. I'm awake at 4 a.m. because I'm about to go to sleep. That's why I'm awake at 4 a.m. But okay, I'll go ahead and post this in Discord. In the... I guess there aren't confirmed Grey Lamaus, so I'll just put it in... I'll put it in general.
Patches? Patches! Come here. Come here. Come on. What? What? Come here.
See if I can get her to meow into the mic. Nice meme. Your message was held for review. Nice meme.
Patches.
Oh wow, she's meowing at me, but then she wants to go lay in the bed. What the heck? I have been busy doing things that I can't really show yet, but my plan for Monday, which is my birthday, I wanted to release the next episode of my thing. Here's the super secret thumbnail for Monday for the birthday stream, by the way. Don't tell nobody, it's a super secret. My plan was to try to get episode 4 of Fun and Games out and stream it on that day, but I am not yet finished with it. I had to do a whole lot more practice, and I am now at a point where I think I can comfortably capture the footage that will be suitable enough for me. It won't be perfect. It won't ever be perfect. I have to fight against the urge to try to make it perfect. And so I have been constantly going over in my head, 80% is enough. 80% is good enough. And so if I can get it to at least 80% or so, 80% of perfection, I will have to use that footage. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for Monday. And that is what I have been working on behind the scenes. So that is what I have been up to. Aside from the fact that I would probably be much closer to finished if a whole bunch of things didn't appear. What the heck? Your message got blocked again. Look, I'm gonna pull it up here. Because I think it's because you said the word fucks. I think that's why it didn't show up. I admire your hard work as the lazy fucks. Yeah, no, I have trouble finishing because a bunch of things get in the way. There was something with there were 2 things going on with the house that kept me from filming, And then when Patches is loud like she is right now because of her hormones, that kind of I have to lock her out of my room. And my room doesn't have any AC because I get too cold too easily. And so it gets really, really hot in my room when I'm trying to record footage. And so that sucks. And then also, there was some car stuff. So there's like 2-3 different things. No, she is not. We need to get that dealt with. She is most definitely not neutered. And that's part of the reason why we can't really let her outside. Aside from the fact that the only time she ever goes outside is supervised. Because it's pretty spooky out there. There's cars, there's birds, there's snakes, there's a bunch of other things. There's lizards out there. I saw a little baby lizard the other day. Super tiny. I almost killed him when I tried to dig into the ground in the garden. When you live in America, there's always some cat stuff. What's that supposed to mean? Always some cat stuff. Oh, car stuff. Okay. It's not good to let kitties outside unsupervised. Yeah, no, I don't want to leave them outside unsupervised. Okay, so actually, before I start doing art, we are going to listen to this Bigfeets stuff from somebody named Ron Morehead. So for those of you who are not autistic about Bigfeets stuff, Ron Morehead is known in the Bigfeets community for recording the Sierra sounds. The Sierra sounds is he and a group of people went out into a secret place in the middle of the mountains, super high up. It takes like 2 or 3 days or something to get there. It's so far remote. And they heard and captured on audio recording these spooky sounds. If he's telling the truth, which I believe he is, if he's telling the truth, it would be very difficult for some hoaxer to come way out here and a secret spot that they don't tell anybody about to bring equipment loud enough for audio, battery power, and stealthily to follow these guys to where they are and make these sounds. So we'll start before we listen to his interview here on channel A Flash of Beauty, Bigfoot Revealed. We will listen to the Sierra sounds so that you guys have some idea who this guy is, and you can decide for yourselves if he seems like he's an honest person. Thank you so much for this stream. It's exactly what I wanted and needed right now. What the heck? Oh, you just want to do drugs and listen to my stream? What the heck? I see how it is. Okay, so this is, I believe, the recording. Oh, and last thing to note is this was in 1970s when he went out there to record these sounds. So you have to think back into 1970s. If these are hoaxers, if he planned this, then yeah, the entire thing is a hoax and he is a liar. If he didn't plan this, he would have to have been hoaxed in the 1970s, followed to a remote area, super high up in the mountains, with people who would have to carry a whole bunch of equipment to make these sounds. Okay, I hope the MDMA doesn't make you super spooked and or give you nightmares from listening to these spooky Bigfeet sounds. I like how this guy is drawn on the right. What? Why is that? With the dad bod. Oh. With the dad bod, it's kind of like he has a furry feel. What the heck? What if it was a bear? I heard ladies like bears. Is that true?
Which one's obvious?
That there, where he's close to the mic, that's him. That's Ron Morehead trying to imitate them, and then the Bigfeets in the distance responding.
Like lacking now. That's our job.
Okay, so that's about a gist of it. That's maybe like half of the recording. So, he is known for capturing this footage, and this was back in the 70s, and in this interview was 7 months ago. I have been liking this channel. They did a documentary. I want to say that I watched it. I want to say that I watched it like a week ago, but it was probably like a month ago at this point. Patch! Do you guys hear that Bigfoot? Do you guys hear that Bigfoot? Whoa!
Patches, what happened?
There is one super. Oh, they mentioned here the Barbara Sharp, I think, footage where they record this stealth Bigfoot that I mentioned, like I was about to say last stream, but last stream was like 3 months ago. Where is it? Okay, here we go. So I played this on stream a while ago, and this is...
So something had to have hit it really...
It was September 11th? September 11th, 2014 is when this was captured. There is a spooky little thingy over here that looks like a cloaked humanoid shape.
hard and really fast right in the middle to break it there, to not break these smaller pieces that are supporting it at either end.
Yeah, that had to been, you know, like a thrust and not a hang, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause if
something
if
hard
it'll
and
hung on it
fast.
for any amount of time,
What the heck was
top
that?
would
Did you see that?
It's right over here.
What the heck is it? There's something taken off right there. Did you see that?
Okay, look right by this branch here. It's gonna be in the foreground, in the background, about another maybe 5 yards or 5 meters away. And this fucking spooky music that they put on there. I remember wondering if this could have been video editing. She doesn't seem like the kind of person who would know how to video edit. First of all, she doesn't seem like the kind of person who would know how to video edit. Secondly, she doesn't seem like the kind of person who would know how to video edit that well. Third, I don't think she would pay somebody to do that. And I think the other people who are there with her physically, they do acknowledge at some point that it's a spooky thing. So they talk to the Sasquatch and it doesn't come up to them. It's fine with long distance talking. Yep, just like Discord. They're spooked of the humans. That's why, because they know that humans have guns. Okay, so we're gonna listen to this, and I will work on my meme. I've been wanting to make this for so long. This soy jack pointing, but for kuromis. And so, what the heck? Wait a second. Okay. Let's see. I'm kind of a weirdo in that I typically listen to things at 1.5 or higher speed, but I think for stream I will keep it at 1. I think at most I'll do 1.5. Oh, wait, what the heck did that say? I'm busy looking at something else. There were some words there. What did it say?
They thought it was bears.
Stop! Go back! Stop! The text said... Go back. Oh, okay, it just says, Ron Morehead, Sierra Sounds experiencer, researcher, and author. What age do you turn Monday, and is it legal? Yes. The answer is yes. And I don't really... I stopped counting. I stopped keeping track. I don't really know. I would have to spend some energy to do math, and I don't want to do that because woman brain.
Whole family, all of them, and I knew them, so...
Go back. Okay. Just wanted to make it bigger. There we go. Easy peasy.
This all began for me in 1971 when I was invited into the camp where these guys have been experiencing a strange phenomenon. And first they thought it was bears coming around, but then the camp had been there since the 50s, and these guys knew this thing they were experiencing up there was not a bear. One of the guys got scared out and didn't want to go back. The guys were a day late, and the wives were all worried, so he asked if I'd go back with him. I was a friend to the whole family, all of them, and I knew them, so I got invited up, and that's how it began for me. They were experiencing these horrific sounds around the camp, and anyway, it was a nightly thing, and I started going up there. And 8 miles in the wilderness, a very imposing area in the Sierra Nevada mountains.
Okay, it was 8 miles in the wilderness, which is still a pretty difficult trek. I believe they said that there's no roads there, so you have to go through untreaded, no roads territory in the mountains, and that should give you an idea of, again, if he's being honest, assuming everything he says is correct, or not a lie,
of California.
Should give you a good idea.
Yeah. And it's 8,400 feet in elevation, so you can't get in there in the wintertime. Snow loads too much, so we usually go in the springtime and until deer season. It's a hunting camp. Nobody up there was looking for Bigfoot. It just really wasn't that.
What if you pick a bear, but then a Sasquatch comes up? Patches? If there was a bear, I mean, I would be armed, clearly. If what people say is true, I'm pretty sure my odds are better with a bear than a Bigfeets. Since they do tend to say that once you see it in person, you realize that your gun isn't big enough. You need like a 50 cal. A 50 cal machine guns. And there is a reason why a bunch of people who claim to have spotted a Bigfeets, they have a PTSD and trauma afterward. whether or not it's a spooky paranormal thing, or whether or not it's an actual non-paranormal, real, natural, human, alive creature being only with no supernatural abilities. So probably the bear. They might develop a foot fetish because like that one guy who was disappointed that he didn't see any feet. I think I did listen to, while I was going to sleep, I did listen to another woman or another guy who said that they didn't see how big the feet were. That might be a clear indication, yeah. Like how victims of abuse will be hypersexual. Oh, that reminds me, I gotta send... I saw this meme the other day that I wanted to post, but I didn't post it yet. I'll send it to you in secret. you let me know if this kind of falls in line with what you're saying. Where did it go? Here we go. This one. You feel like a cool kid. That's why you're here.
That way. It was a hunting camp, and they were experiencing the Bigfoot. We call them Bigfoot because they had a big foot, and they had a big voice. Very elusive, very fast. And anyway, you rarely saw them. We just got glimpses every once in a while. And people want to know why we didn't get a picture, and that might be one of the questions that's going to get asked. I get asked that all the time. We tried. We really tried to get a picture. But these things seemed to outfox us. We underestimated what they were, underestimated them thoroughly, and thought they were just a big ape running around the woods like a lot of researchers still think about.
I would post them in general and or show them on stream, but for this particular topic, I don't know if that's a good idea. I might... The gods of Twitch and YouTube might not quite approve.
Today. But over my years, close to 50 years doing this now, I feel like there are lots more than that. And it's got me into the study of them worldwide, really. Because we had repeated visits up there, we started taking tape recorders up, cassette tape recorders, and
very edgy secrets.
Sounds. What makes the sound so unique and so good, really, is that we've had them scientifically studied by the University of Wyoming. Dr. Curlin did that for a year up there. And he showed that the sounds were not manipulated, that they were not speeded up, they were not slowed down. There was no 60-cycle hum in them. They were original. There was no manipulation whatsoever. That makes these unique. But that's not enough. Academia still wants more. In 2008, a cryptolinguist got a hold of them by accident, Scott Nelson, and he come out and interviewed me, found the context, interviewed Al Berry also. He's an investigative reporter that we took in 1972, who also recorded these things. And he actually fostered the studies at the University of Wyoming. I want to give him credit for that, because without him, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. He passed away, became a good friend of mine, and I miss him. But anyway, Scott Nelson, the cryptolinguist, he's trained by the military, Navy, as a cryptolinguist with years and years of experience transcribing unusual and unknown languages to see if they are a language and to see if there's any manipulation in the language. He didn't know about Dr. Curlin's report. He came out with the statement that they have a language by the human definition of language. That's very important because all animals communicate in some way through pheromones or infrasound or some type.
This is where it would be so useful to have trained and practiced way more with shapes, face shape, and perspective.
Type of method of communication. These things communicate with a sapient language like we're doing now, like I'm doing now, I hope. Anyway, it takes a hyoid bone connected to the tongue a certain way with the nerves into the brain, which creates language for humans. According to Dr. Lieberman, 1968 at Brown University, only humans have the apparatus for language like we have. That separates us from all the other animals in the kingdom of this earth. So that tells me something pretty significant. If they have the vocal mechanism for language, maybe they're got some human component to them. And there's been a lot of native lore, a lot of stories go back about hybridization and about how the natives have claimed that these things have inbred with their women. And anyway, it also gets into biblical history, ancient texts, Greek mythology, all that, how beings from the sky.
I don't know why. I just love this meme so much. I don't know why it makes me laugh so much.
Came down and took the women and changed the DNA to create a hybrid. And perhaps that's where we're going with this. Well, I've heard, as far as people thinking they can duplicate these sounds, they can't be duplicated. A human sound expert named Nancy Logan years ago listened to these, and she's only one of 10 certified court interpreters in the state of California at the time. She's retired now, but she said she challenges anyone to try to do this because their sound decibel range is higher than what humans can do with their vocal mechanism. It's lower than what humans can do, and it's also within humans.
Uh-oh, so you have to ask? It's the high time? Uh-oh, what's that supposed to mean? What are you going to ask? Is it a spooky question? Who is Kuromi? Who is that character outside of the merch? Kuromi's is a Sanrio character in the same universe as Hello Kitty. She is basically the goth girl character in the Hello Kitty world. They have a show. They have back in the 90s, I believe they had a show with My Melody and Kuromi where she first appeared, I think, where they first became rivals and stuff. And these days they have this show, Hello Kitty and Friends of Super Cute Adventures. I haven't watched them recently. Breaking news! I have to get back onto this show again. I haven't seen what's new. And she's clearly the best character because she is evil and she wears black and she has a skull and she likes candy and Halloween and her birthday is Halloween and she's evil and she's a tomboy and she's super cool because she's evil. So yeah. Yeah, I think she might be one of the more recent. I think she was made in like the 2000s. Whereas some of the other Sanrio characters were back in the 90s. Kuromi debut date. Yeah, first appearance was 2005. Okay, so that must have been when the anime or so appeared, around 2005. And her birthday is October 31st, so I get to celebrate a whole bunch of things at the end of October. Get to celebrate Dia de los Muertos and Halloween's and Kuromi birthday and another birthday and Halloween's and candy. So yeah, that's why she's the perfect emblem for all the goth girls.
Human range. So they have a very complex vocal mechanism. And for someone to say that they could do that.
And I do like having the Kuromi emotes, but I definitely also want to start making I have a couple of ideas for characters for my own stuff. I have like a gargoyle character in mind. Recently I remembered that I can do a plague doctor character. A black cat, obviously. I have a couple spooky monster-like evil character things so I can make my own emotes. Yeah, I don't know if you can see them. Where is... I did make a couple here that I can, I can't really use them on Discord because of certain reasons, but I do have this one that should work on YouTube. Is it gonna show up? Oh, there it is. So here on the actual overlay, I can see it. I don't know why sometimes it does and sometimes it does not work on my screen here. I can only see the text, but on the overlay on stream, I can definitely see the thingy. So here in chat, on the actual chat window, I see the text. And then here on the overlay for you, it should be over here. I can see the emote. It has to be capital K, Chrome, and capital H. You would need, however, to download the extension here, 7TV. The 7TV app extension on your browser. Oh, maybe that's why it's not showing up, because I don't have it on this browser. Yeah, I don't know how it works for mobile. I think there's a way to do it, but I've never done it. Let me see. It says they have mobile apps. Android, iOS. Dank Chat. Yeah, you're glued to your couch, yeah. Well, I've never used the mobile app, so I don't know how this would work. I would imagine you either open this app and use this chat instead, and then that's where you would be able to see the emotes. I don't know. Yeah, it's so complicated for you while you're on your MDMA. But yeah, once I get my 1,000 subscribers, I think I can unlock the super chats and the memberships, and also get my own custom emotes on YouTube. But that's quite a bit away. It's coming down. Uh-oh. Are you gonna inject more MDMA? Okay, I see. Your magical leaves.
Sounds real. They just haven't done their homework, and they need to study and look and see what the studies we've had done on this. Because if you want to, you can say it's all fake if you want to. You have that choice, but it's not. I was there, and I'm not lying to you. Well, it's been suggested that these things maybe can communicate in infrasound or ultrasound, but they have such a complex vocal mechanism that's possible, I suppose. But large animals, a lot of them, elephants, giraffes, tigers, large tigers, communicate in ultrasound. Excuse me, infrasound. And infrasound, I did have.
Yeah, I'm aware that there's definitely certain things in life where you got to take it all at once. Yep.
An experience that could be related to infrasound up there, and that was when I went out of the shelter. Warren Johnson and I. We were the only two up there, and we thought we'll rush out the shelter door and we'll see this thing run away because it was making a lot of noise right by this tree. This tree was 30 feet away from us, maybe 40. And so we jumped out of the shelter door. We're going to see this run away. Big moonlight night. We're going to see one because it's hard to see them. You don't see them that often. Very elusive. Well, we started walking up there at the same time. We were probably 10, 15 feet apart, and all of a sudden we both just got stopped. We could not go forward. We could not go forward. I related in my book, Voices in the Wilderness, as a force field.
Okay, hold on. I gotta grab this book.
You feel in Star Trek or something. Stopped. We could not go forward. We could not go forward. I related in my book, Voices in the Wilderness, as a force field.
Voices in the Wilderness by Ron Morehead. I still gotta go do all my live stream reading the Bigfeets books. Is that what we were doing last year? Were we reading Halo? Last birthday? Let's see. Where is 12 months ago? Yep. 11 months. It says 11 months. Streamed July 29th, 2023. We were reading chapters 15 to 17 of Halo: The Fall of Reach. Whoa. Oh, fuck. My W is broken. Whoa. Okay. Got to clean up your vape. Went to the garden. It's light. What the heck? It's already light outside? I'm always surprised when I stay up playing video games and then the sun comes out.
Like
the heck?
you're in Star Trek or something where you don't see it, but something's just holding you back. Warren said, I don't know about you, but I can't go any further. And I said, I can't either. I mentioned this to a scientist one time, and he said, we don't want to hear about your fear. I said, by then we figured they weren't going to eat us. They weren't going to carry us away in a sleeping bag. We figured we're safe. This thing's just going to run away and not eat us. But we couldn't get there. We went back in the shelter and started mouthing off again. I say mouthing off, they're doing their vocal, very rapid chatter. So that's my story about being stopped by something. The same thing happened to me one other time up there too when I was out in the woods, not even thinking about Bigfoot, just all of a sudden you got stopped and your hair stands up in the back. You don't know what it is, you look around, you don't see anything, but this is all part of the game they play, just trying to play with you. And anyway, if it was infrasound, that does affect humans, and that could have been it. A scientist told me one time, he says, but if it's fear, we don't want to know about it. We use the science. And so he says either pheromones or infrasound. And I thought at that time it has to be infrasound because pheromones only work within the same species. And at that time I had no idea that these things could have been maybe part human. So if they are part human, and that's where I kind of go with my studies and my experience with all this, they may have been pheromones. I don't know. Something stopped us both, and it was not fear. Horses did not react to these things when they were around. When they were making the sounds, they were like frozen. Just pointed their ears right towards where the sound was coming from. A bear would come around, though, and they would tromp and stop and just go crazy. And that's happened a few times, too. So you know the difference. So anyway, that's the story of animals. A lot of people that don't quite agree with that because they think an animal would just go crazy around these things, but they have a way of maybe working into the frequency of the animal, the frequency of the human, the frequency of everything is frequency, energy and vibration. And if they can do that, and I think probably they can pretty much govern your reaction. For years up there, we thought they were just an undiscovered ape running around the woods, and that's what a lot of researchers think now. So they're still trying to capture them on a video cam or some type of a trail cam or something. That hasn't worked so far. So unless you make the trail cams and sell them, then it's working for you. However, they move inhumanly fast. The one I saw was streaking through the trees inhumanly fast. That's the time I was recording, so I got to see what I was recording. The sound was coming from behind me, a big samurai cry, and I'd seen it go shooting down through the trees to two other ones that were making sounds down here. We feel like it was an adolescent and a mother. That's what we think, a family of three. And that's because of the sounds kind of have determined. You hear a small sound, then you hear a large sound coming down on it, like you're getting too close to these pin-headed people. Stay away from them. I think the young ones maybe are getting a little curious and aggressive, but they all seem to want to toy with people. A common question that's asked to me is, what do I think they are? I was just asked that yesterday again. What do you think they are? I think they are a hybrid, a type of being which the nuclear DNA, which is the male counterpart, is not determined. The maternal DNA, which has been determined by two different geneticists, which is questionable because classical science doesn't want to accept it, but the maternal DNA, the mitochondrial, is feminine, and it's
mitochondria.
It's human. So I think they're a human hybrid of some type, with the nuclear DNA, the male counterpart, being from an alien intervention. And I'll just come right out and say it. I think there's aliens. Everybody knows that pretty much nowadays. Aliens are here. Dr. Edgar Mitchell said it. Several scientists are saying, astronauts have witnessed it. they're here. So what are they doing here? Why do they want to be here? That's what I get into in my Quantum Bigfoot. It's just, what are they doing? I have my theories on that. You want to hear it? I'll go for it. One thing that puzzled us up there quite a bit was the unusual things. We didn't talk about those things for a long time because it's out of classical science. Classical science is based on Newtonian physics. Everything has to be measurable, predictable, physical, but it's not that way. According to quantum science, it's totally different. And there's a learning curve here for researchers I think they need to get into, and that learning curve is understanding how to realize there's more dimensions than the 3 that we live in. Aliens are able to...
Uh-oh, here we go with the alien Bigfeets, spooky, paranormal. I don't actually know what his position is, but if he's talking about quantum physics and aliens, then maybe he's going to argue they are, if not spooky paranormal, then at least interdimensional or some kind of, in one way or another, have access to different dimensions that we have yet to grasp.
To go from one dimension to another, they can get in our dimension.
Yes, the garden and the fresh air is always harmonious. Easy peasy. It'll make the MDMA and the weed better, right?
Once they're in our dimension, our third dimensional environment, they're subject to our rules. We live in a linear time zone, timeline. We think there's a yesterday. We pretty much know there was yesterday. There's today, and we hope there's going to be a tomorrow. That does not exist according to quantum physics. There's something in the now. And when you get into the study of realizing there's other things going on that you can't see, you don't hear infrasound, you don't hear ultrasound, but you know it's there. Same way with our vision. We only see within certain frequencies. Again, everything is frequency, energy, and vibration. If you can't see within the light's frequency, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means you don't see it. So there's your answer to questions of people saying they saw them disappear. They followed a trackway that just stopped. How does that happen? It happens with density, because if they can change their matter into energy, which I think they can do, that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Most people think that aliens come down here and had sex with our women. That's how Nephilim were created. That's how giants were created. I'm not sure that's the way it happened. I think they altered through advanced technology. They've altered the DNA of a troglodyte. They've altered the DNA of different animals, trying to experiment with things, trying to get something that would possibly acclimate their species to this culture, this environment. Why? There's a good reason. I'm glad you asked that question. Why do they want to be part of this environment? This Earth is the jewel of the solar system. It's got everything. It's got water, it's got plants, it's got everything that anything.
It's got women.
Planet in this solar system has what this Earth has. Why wouldn't they want to be here? But they can't live in this environment so well. They want their species.
Wow, imagine there are aliens and other spooky monsters who there's literally nowhere else for them to go. They want to be here. And then there's some humans who don't want to be here. Imagine how lucky you are that you want to escape the best place on the whole entire universe.
To evolve, and they want their species to be in this environment. And that's why I think they're doing that. But I don't think it's sex. I think it's DNA manipulation. 1 out of every 400 twins can be and are fathered by different males. And now you get into Rebecca's twins. One was hairy, one was not. You know, could that have been? Could the aliens have actually done that? I say it's a scenario that could have worked out. Possible. Well, in the Bible, there's a lot of stories about giants, how they came from fallen angels, which were bad guys who went against the rules of God, and bred humans. A lot of people want to call they had intercourse, but that's not the word I use. I use DNA manipulation. I don't think it was intercourse at all. That's not their goal. Wasn't just to...
Hey baby, I don't call it intercourse, but do you want to have some DNA manipulation with me?
Have fun. It was to create something that their species could go with. It goes all the way through, and you got the...
I think he's referring to some of the apocryphal books that aren't in the official Bible, that they were kept out, where they talk about giants, I believe. I think the Nephilim are also mentioned in the books that were taken out.
The flood wiped them out, gets into the Rebecca's womb, and that's what you'd like to hear, probably because there's two people in there. One was hairy and one was not. Could that DNA have been manipulated inside her womb? Yes, I think it could have been. That's why one became the Edomites later on, and those were giants in the Philippians. And you get into the land of Canaan, it's a whole bunch of scenarios that could work out there. Angels, like everything, have the choice of doing what they want to do. They can be good or they can be bad. If they could do it before the flood, they could do it after the flood. And that's all I'm saying. I don't think spirituality and quantum physics are that far apart. Even Nikola Tesla said,
Tesla? What are you talking about Elon for?
One man calls God, another man calls the laws of physics. Dr. Edgar Mitchell said, there's no natural or supernatural phenomena. There's only gaps in our knowledge of what is normal. We must strive to close those gaps.
Ivy.
He knows, because he knows there was aliens here and are here. Some people wonder how.
There's aliens among us? What the heck? Maybe Men in Black was... Maybe Men in Black is real. There was, at the end of... I guess I shouldn't spoil it. There's a major world event that happens in the animated series of Men in Black, and it's pretty cool how they keep it a secret from humanity. Maybe Ron Morehead is onto something. The aliens are here, but either the aliens themselves and or the Men in Black organization have certain ways of making sure that we don't acknowledge or even know that they're here. Yeah, I liked the Men in Black animated show as well as the first two movies. I think the third one's okay. Which one's that one again? The one where he goes back in time? Yeah, that's the third one. That one wasn't too bad. But then the next one after that, the international one, that one, I fell asleep during that one. And it might mostly have to do with the fact that I was super tired, but I'm pretty sure the fact that the movie's quality probably also contributed to my falling asleepings.
If everything was killed according to Genesis 6 by the flood, how could the Nephilim or giants got through? Well, there's two ways to look at that. Either they didn't get through or they did. So how could they have gotten through? I think it's from Ham's wife, one of Noah's sons. And there was millions of people on earth by the time the flood happened, and that's not contestable. So if his wife had the recessive gene for the Nephilim, if she had been infected by that, it would have gotten through the flood. Ham's son, Cain, developed the land of Canaan, where the giants were. That's where Goliath came from. You want to get into that one? There's that scenario, but also I go into if aliens did it once, they can come back and do it again. They had 400 years since the flood until the land of Canaan, until all that happened. So really, there's all kinds of speculation on this, but there's all kinds of ways that could happen. Melba Ketchum's study that she did, which I...
This is an interview with Ron Morehead on the channel A Flash of Beauty. Here is the link. This was uploaded 7 months ago on December 6th, 2023. I was about to say 2023.
I'm a proponent of, even though I'm not a geneticist, I'll say that right up front, but when she came out of the box and said the nuclear DNA, which is a male counterpart of this type that she was studying, could not be determined. That's out of 227 billion samples in the gene bank that couldn't be matched.
What do you mean? How do I find this stuff? What are you calling me a conspiracy theorist or something? What the heck? I found this channel because I follow a guy named Chuck Jacobs. Patches? Did you guys hear that Bigfoot? Whoa, it's a little baby Bigfoot. I follow this guy. I found him by accident once from this video called Gifting.
Patches.
I found him from this video. It was recommended to me, and so I checked that out, and he seems like a pretty cool guy. He has this little thing. Bigfoot doesn't believe in you either. He seems genuine. He seems honest. He doesn't seem like a liar, like a hoaxer, like somebody who's trying to just troll city people. He makes quite a couple of claims that would require a lot of scientific evidence to support whether or not his claims are real, such as the fact that he has had He's had issues with his kidneys, and at some point, maybe 2 or 3 times in the night, a female Bigfoot was outside of his van here when he's sleeping, and she telepathically, magically, I don't know how she went through the matrix, and she was massaging his prostate, and then he was feeling better, and then the Bigfeets supposedly told him in a dream that the surgery is okay, and so then he went to surgery to get his kidney thing dealt with, or his prostate thing. I think he had issues with both. I don't know of many other people. I know maybe 1 or 2 other people who may have had that sort of interaction with the Bigfeets about healing and stuff. And then this guy, Chuck Jacobs, he was interviewed by Flash of Beauty, guys. And so because he was talking about these guys, about this interview, I decided to check out their channel, and they have a bunch of Bigfeets interviews with people, as well as documentaries. Oh, yeah, I completely forgot. I was going to show you guys the thingy. Yeah, the Bigfeets literally healed his prostate by rubbing his G-spot. This, I forgot about this. I was going to show, there's this pretty interesting encounter with 2, I think they're truck drivers. And then they see a Bigfoot's shapeshift. They're driving down the road, and then next to this telephone pole, electricity pole, they see a Bigfeets stand up and then shapeshift into a cube, and then a circle, a ball of light, and then they fly away. And they hired this artist to make an artist's rendition of it. And so he's over by the telephone pole. He changes. He's like crouching, sort of, and then he changes into this golden cube, according to these 2 eyewitnesses. And then it shoots off super duper fast into the sky. Yeah, it could be that they're just skinwalkers and they're taking on the shape of something that's a human, and the closest they can get to is the Bigfeets. Although from what I understand, the natives who talk about skinwalkers, they say that they can actually take the shape of an actual person. So whether or not that means that the Bigfeets are skinwalkers, I'm not sure. Both things could be happening. They could try to shapeshift into a human, but the closest they can do is the Bigfeets, and other skinwalkers might be more skilled. They put more skill points into their D&D character, into their skinwalker D&D character, that they can look like an actual human. I don't know. I would have to conduct more investigations, have to read more books. And so, whether or not Bigfeets can shapeshift is a contentious issue. They had an animation here, so where'd it go? There was an animated version of this. Was it earlier? Patches. Patches. Come here. Come here. Yeah, come here. What do you have to tell everybody? Tell them something cool. Huh? What's that? What's that? What's that mean? Huh? What? No. You gotta finish telling the world the truth about the Bigfeets. Are you a Bigfeets? No? You're not a Bigfeets. Well, you're a bunny? Are you a bunny? Or is you a kitty? Huh? What's the mattress? What you meowing for? Huh? What happened? Well, you want to relax? What happened? Okay, well, I guess I can't. I don't know if the 3D animation played. I wasn't looking. Yeah, I definitely need to start. Oh wait, was it right here? Right before here? Fuck! Ah! Did I miss it? Fuck! What the heck? No, I need that. What the heck? Stay over there. Yeah, I need to start a collection of names and concepts here for this. I did start this one. An obsidian for public stuff I can do. So might as well start it now. Let's do a Bigfeets. Bigfeets. Let's do actually I think probably I don't have thingy here. I don't have Excalibur. Okay, we'll just start here. Let's do... I want to keep Ron Morehead in mind. I want to keep Jacob. So we have Wes Germer. Is some people in the Bigfeets. What the heck? Why do I keep misspelling Jacobs? We have Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Meldrum. We have who's that Johnson guy? Somebody mentioned a certain Dr. Johnson in one of the Bigfeets books I was reading. Was it Avery Johnson? Let's see, Sasquatch, Dr. Johnson. Is it this guy, Dr. Matthew H? I think that's him. Dr. Matthew A. Johnson. We also have Boba. We have Cliff Barackman. Okay, so here's how we're gonna start doing this. We're gonna have likely truthful / reliable people. I guess we'll do investigators, or yeah, I guess we'll do investigators. These guys are investigators who are also possibly likely truthful and reliable. From what I have heard, likely untruthful, unreliable people / hoaxers. There's this one super popular guy who is likely to be a liar. What's his name? Fuck, Todd Standing. People have accused him of being a hoaxer. Oh, we gotta put in. Guess we'll do a page. It'll be people. We'll grab footage. Grab a brush shoop. Cloaking footage. Whereabouts is that? Okay, so here is this is the her entire vlog out there while she's there was another is it this guy? Okay, this guy, he has like an entire 11-minute going frame by frame, I think. Is it this guy? No, it's not. It's somebody else. Ah, fuck. There was another... Somebody else made a thingy for this. Maybe it was in the comments. Oh, I think it's this guy. Okay, there we go. This is what I wanted. This guy has a whole bunch of different... He's more zoomed in. He's got frame by frames. Magnified. Grab this guy. This is from... YouTube channel. Seeing a Truth. Grab that. I'll put it in here later. I don't trust any of them. I talked to Sasquatch and he told me they were liars. What if Sasquatch is lying to you? Or what if everybody who sees a Sasquatch and talks to a Sasquatch is a liar? Maybe that makes you a liar too. Whoa. I guess we'll also grab the Sierra sounds. Sounds, we'll do Sierra sounds. By Ron Morehead. Oh my goodness. There is also I think we'll do it next time. I have this video in my thing that I want to watch. It's like 20 minutes long or something, about supposedly real Bigfoot sounds. The longest recording ever heard. So we'll do that later. Okay, but for now we'll start like this. I think what I really want to do though is have all this in a canvas so I can plop in we'll do footage here and sounds of all of these, and we'll start making a web of things and people and evidence. Start collecting everything all in one spot. Me and Sass go way back. What the heck? Which one? Name 10 Sasquatch abilities. Go. Go, go, go.
The maternal DNA is human, mostly human, with a couple mutations. So that...
Oh, okay. Last thing I want to do. We'll do... Okay, I think we'll do camps. We'll do the woo-woo camp. We'll do I guess woo-woo and supernatural will be together.
Patches?
We'll do the flesh and blood camp.
Patches?
Flesh and blood, we have footprint castings, lends credence to the flesh and blood camp. Woo-woo camp will do cloaking. We'll do... Would infrasound fall under woo-woo or flesh and blood? Because real aminals do have infrasound. Okay, name 10 things. 1, to have big feet. Okay, that's one. 2, to maintain their big feet. 3, to show off their... I don't know, that doesn't seem reliable. I don't know if many people who have encountered or seen the Bigfeets mention that they have seen the Bigfeet. I don't know, sounds a little sus. 4, to take care... Isn't that the same as maintain their big feet? 5, walking with very big feet, which isn't easy. 2 of these sound very similar. I don't know if you can... No, it's a little sus. The Susquatch. That's what you are. You're the Susquatch. Cloaking, shape-shifting is also in the woo-woo camp. We'll do in quotes, the lights. That would be in there, woo-woo. I guess we could also put the lights under the Grey Lamau connection. Footprint casting. There are some reports of scat collections, but not very many. Sometimes there's blood and hair. I guess we'll do here in parentheses Melba, Ketchum. Ketchum's findings. Cinematic universe. The Bigfeets Grey Lamau cinematic universe. We're gonna collect all the cryptids and all the spooky things in one spot. That's basically what I guess we'll do. A folder for spooky things, which will include ghosts and aliens and Bigfeets and skinwalkers and wendigos and everything. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to reorganize this. What I had in mind was a little bit more like... what's this? The Bigfeets. It's a bit more having a web that I can move of different things here. I would have like a connection between Ron Morehead, which camp he would fall into, which evidence he has either collected and or which evidence he believes in. All sorts of things. So I'm going to slowly build this up over time. And I do also have a list of books here that I need to read relating to the concepts and topics. So I have a long road ahead of me.
Threw her out of the academia box right there. They can't handle that. Now, a lot of people say it was contaminated. She swears up and down it couldn't have been. Who knows? But there was another genetic study done on this from the Himalayas, actually, up above Bhutan. It was sponsored by National Geographic, and a geneticist went up there, and out of eDNA, which is environmental DNA, at 17,000 feet, they discovered these tracks, bipedal tracks, and they took her back. She did a study on those. She said that they were 99% human. She did not make the same mistake Melba Ketchum made. She didn't talk about the nuclear DNA. She's talked to maternal DNA with 99% human. So, come on, what does that tell us? These things have a human component to them. Well, a lot of people have been raised religiously and will not delve out of that at all. A lot of people have been raised scientifically and think Newtonian physics is all there is. They won't step out of that box. But to me, they can go together. They don't have to be separated like that. That's why my books brings science and spirituality together, because they are together. If you really want to get into, I gotta say this. People won't say I'm in the woo-woo factor here. Well, okay, put me in the woo-woo factor. That's where Tesla is, that's where Einstein was. I'm happy to be with that group of guys.
I gotta get my plugins. I'll do that later. Unlucky. I guess we'll have to look into, he's claiming Tesla was in the woo-woo camp. Let's go see. Claims Tesla was in woo-woo camp. Find Tesla's woo-woo beliefs, or I guess statements.
No problem at all. But really, that's the woo-woo that people are talking about. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You got to have an open mind for this. That's all there is to it. There's too many mysteries around these beings we call Bigfoot, and I don't think they are all the same. I do believe there's different genomes, and that's because there are different types of aliens have been here over the eons. They've done so much manipulation to the DNA of different species, just practicing, playing around, whatever, trying to get their genome into this environment.
Their genome.
They like the linear timeline. That's what we experience day after day. However, in space and the other dimensions, that timeline doesn't exist and they can't evolve. We are here to evolve. We are here to learn to be better. And we have to learn that through raising our vibrational frequency. And that's what linear time's for. And
we have to raise our vibrational frequency. Guys, quick! I gotta buy something to help me increase my vibrational frequency. You guys gotta chip in.
That's why we're met with these challenges. How we respond to those challenges would either raise your frequency or lower your frequency. We have to reach a certain level of frequency to advance, and that's what evolution is all about. You want to get into Darwinism and Darwin's theory? I don't disagree with it. I think probably the troglodytes did evolve, just like that said. I think he's just missing a spot in there somewhere. And that spot is probably where something picked in there and made a Bigfoot, huh? Also, it's going to throw a kink into religions when this comes out, because it's all going to come out. The truth will prevail. And Darwinism has got a problem. Religion's got a problem. They all want to put everything in their paradigm, their box that they've been trained in. And that's unfortunate, because you don't have to do that. You need to stay out and just keep an open mind and realize that there's more going on than you can imagine, really. Somebody answer. I asked one time, how far is it to the universe?
I guess these statements would put Ron Morehead in the woo-woo camp. Let's go ahead and grab these timestamps. I'm not sure how I would quite do this just yet. I guess Chuck Jacobs would also be in the woo-woo camp with having his prostate massaged. So he's talking about dimensions. He's talking about evolution, we are made to evolve, and the Bigfeets don't really care. Okay.
If Newtonian physics says everything is measurable and predictable, physical or whatever, somebody tell me how far it is to the end of the universe. Nobody can do that. So that has to open your mind up a little bit, I would think.
What's his name? Notch made a game where like it's a couple 100 bajillion blocks and then the world starts falling apart. I know that much.
You just can't imagine an end, something with no end to it. What's over there? A wall? That doesn't work.
Who built the wall?
In the most minute form of our being, we are a vibration. We are energy. We are vibrating a certain frequency, and everything has that. That's how I think Christ did his miracles, was through quantum physics, the laws of quantum physics, which are God's laws, by the way.
Christ knew how to work quantum physics. Big if true. Is this true, chat?
There's nothing unreligious about it or unspiritual about that. But it's just open your mind up to those things. As far as a Bigfoot being interdimensional, I'm not sure they all are, but I think that the ones that we dealt with in the Sierra Nevada mountains of California have such an advanced vocal mechanism. I mean, there's times when we thought our camp was being tore apart outside. We look out there and nothing's changed. The barrels were there that we hauled in our mules.
Yeah, that's why I put him in the woo-woo camp.
All our canned goods were still there that we hauled in. Nothing changed. Well, how do you explain that in classical science? You can't.
Fuck.
So there's just things going on. There's lights. We've seen what we thought was a UFO. I did up there one time. You hear sounds up there that just don't have an answer to them, and not in classical science anyways. What I think they can do with their very advanced vocal mechanism is I think they can create a frequency that will cause them to go out of our visual perception, and that would cause them to, in our eyes anyway, disappear. Are they going out of our dimension into the fifth dimension? Fourth dimension of time? Maybe they're seen as a ghost, like some people see ghosts in the fourth dimension, they're time, because they're trapped in there. Are they going through that in a plasma field? Is that what the cloaking thing, the predator look that they call it? Could it be that they're going into their fifth dimension, where I think that's why you don't find bodies, that's why they're not found by classical science, and academia just can't handle that because it's outside their paradigm. It's outside of their disciplines. Academia has been learned and taught to accept only this, and if it's not measurable, predictable, it's not acceptable. Well, physicists think differently. They're a little more open-minded because they realize, I gotta say this, I talked to head physicist one time, asked him what he thought about quantum physics. He looked at me and just smiled. He says, nothing's real, because that's hard to get your head around. Quantum.
Okay, is there... What exactly is Neil deGrasse Tyson's field of expertise? Can I get Neil deGrasse Tyson and Ron Morehead in a conversation about Bigfeets? American astrophysicist. I'll have to email him, see if he's interested, and or if he can get us in touch with a quantum physicist and or a regular physicist. Can we make the Neil deGrasse Tyson Bigfoot arc happen? Let's see if that's something I can pull in.
Quantum physics, if you think you're understanding it, you're not understanding it, because you can't get your head around something with no end. But there's a conceptual thing that you have to conceive that it's real, because the science and the mathematics of these other dimensions exist. And if they exist, you can't deny them. Yet we want to just stay within our three-dimensional paradigm, our three-dimensional world, our box that we've been trained. We've been taught so many things that are just not true. There's evidence of aliens being eons ago on this planet. I think, yeah, I've seen it. And I know that that's happened. That'll open.
Okay, I will definitely have to go read his book. Make sure I can follow up with his claims. Make sure I try to understand his position, his potential evidence, what is the source of his argumentation, and he is definitely 100% currently in the woo-woo camp. but I think I still believe him about the Sierra sounds and everything. Could it be that pushed him further into all the woo-woo stuff, or was he already woo-woo beforehand? We will have to find out next time on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
And until a recent...
Yes, because there are a lot of people who are not very seriously, who are not very airy pulse about it, and I have to be the one to unite all the camps, the woo woo camp, and the fresh and blood camp. So I gotta make my whole entire presentation. Get all the proper scientists aboard.
Researcher who think they're just an ape running around the woods that hasn't been discovered. Until the researcher experiences something that is really unexplainable, he's not going to open his mind up unless he listens to what I'm saying now, because I think I'm on to it. I've been doing this for close to 50 years now, and it's a theory. Do I have a theory?
A game theory.
That's a good question. Some of them have a good purpose because they were created by something that had a good agenda. Some of them may be a bad purpose. Maybe they were created by a bad alien. If you want to get into alien intervention again.
A bad alien?
Alien intervention. So are they here to help us? They can only help us if they can communicate with you through a vibrational frequency. Because we are not supposed to be interfered with our karma. We have certain things we have to respond to in our life. That's what elevates us or not. And if we respond to those things with love and compassion, you will be elevated. I don't care what it is. If you can respond to it that way, you're going to be elevated higher. That's what they try to tell us. That's where intuition comes from. That's what we have to listen to. You have to get the heart-brain coherence going on, but that's also got to be connected to the pineal gland, which has to be cleaned up and decalcified.
Decalcified?
So are they good or bad? Some are good, some are bad. So keep your guard up. Don't think they're all little things out there serving cupcakes. They're not. You know, and yeah, they're not. Are they telepathic? That's a question, Pastor. I think if they can, if you are at your vibrational frequency where they can.
Remember Matt Pat? Remember that pic of him and his wife when his kid was born and he looks like he's the one that gave birth? No, I am not aware of that picture. I didn't really follow Matt Pat at all. Matt Pat pic where it looks like he's giving birth, or he gave birth. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, because he's in the white what the heck? It looks like the medical, like he's the patient. Yeah, I can see it. How it looks like he's the one who gave birth. She's doing the soy jack. Look, she's doing the Kuromi point. I gotta have the Kuromi soy jacking about this picture. That's what we'll do. Once I finish it, I'll do that. I'll make that a meme.
With you, you'll sense it. Some people say they talk to them all the time. Well, how do they know if that's not their own brain, their own mechanism really tell them something, or if it's something else trying to speak to them? These things can do that, I think, on a. We're all telepathic, by the way. I've got to say that. I think we're all made with the attributes that we have not learned how to develop yet, and that's telepathy, clairvoyance, remote viewing. All that stuff exists within all of us. We just have to learn how to.
That is quite a bold claim. However, I do not contest the statement that we all have the capacity and ability to do things. We just haven't learned them. For instance, there are a whole lot of people in the world who don't know how to be mature, yet they definitely have the ability to do so if they put the time and effort into it. And we can see a bunch of people who are like that, who lack maturity and or social skills and or social awareness and understanding by looking no further than the internet.
Make it happen for us and have to get up there. People want to know, can they cloak? Can they disappear? There's a science that says yes, they can. That science is quantum science, because everything is matter as we see it, but at the most minute form, it is energy, and energy vibrates. If they can change the vibrational frequency and change their matter so it cloaks into energy only, you wouldn't have the density for trackways. You wouldn't see them. You might see a pixelation form, but you won't, and too many reports like that. And you hear so many of them, like I have over the years, you can't just keep ignoring them. These people are not lying. They're not delusional. You got to just say, how can that be? Al Berry, who again was an investigative reporter that took in, he wrote a book about this. Not about this, but about Bigfoot. He said, stay with science. Well, he had a master's degree in science.
Who's this guy?
Reporter that took in, he wrote a book, and they're not delusional. You got to just say, how can that be? Al Berry, who again...
Al Berry. Al Berry these nuts in your mouth. How about that? Al Berry. Bigfoot book. Ann Berry? Alan Berry. Is that him? July 29th, 1999. Bigfoot. That's the title of the book, Bigfoot, by B. Ann Slate and Alan Berry. Is that him? Al Berry? For the first time, we have the answers, not the astounding truth about the Bigfoot mystery. Many people scoff at the reports of a huge, man-like Bigfoot creature prowling America's wilderness, yet hundreds of giant footprints have been seen and authenticated. Here are the first true-to-life reports of recent frightening encounters, many face-to-face with this massive hairy monster, fully documented with actual black and white photographs. I'm assuming it's this guy.
Was an investigative reporter that took in, he wrote a book about this. Not about this, but about Bigfoot.
He said an investigative reporter is Alan Berry. Investigative reporter. Stephen Berry, journalist. I'm not seeing anything other than this page here, Alan Berry. RonMorehead.com, he has a page for Al Berry. Okay, we gotta go dig into his website. Gotta go look at all of this stuff. RonMorehead.com, Al Berry. Published Sunday, August 24th, 2014. Al Berry, a former officer in Vietnam, was responsible for fostering the original study of the Bigfoot recordings at the University of Wyoming. Every time I see Al, I see AI. Al held a is he dead? Or does he no longer, has he been disbarred? Al held a Master of Science degree. In 1971, he was the investigative reporter that was allowed to trek into the Sierra camp. Although he was seeking a hoax, he failed to find one. To his dying day, he thought it would have made the story even more interesting if he could have discovered how anyone could have pulled this off. Al wrote about this account in 1976, Bantam book Bigfoot, co-authored by Ann Slate. Okay, so that is a book that he made. I don't know if this is the one he's referring to. The first 3 chapters are dedicated to the Sierra camp encounters. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on Al Berry. Al Berry. Here's this page. Here's the possible book he's referring to. Keep that in mind.
He said, stay with science. Well, he had a master's degree in science.
The Wild West webpage, yeah. Yeah, it was because he died, yeah. Till his dying day. Well, it's unfortunate that the investigative journalist was unable to come to any conclusive evidence.
And so I've tried to stay with science. So with the science you got to stay with here is modern science. Modern science is quantum physics, quantum science. that's modern science. If you want to go to classical science, that's 1687 Newtonian physics. And if you want to stay with that one, that's fine. You got your choice. But if you want to really learn more about these things, you have to get into quantum, why they hang around energy, and they do. There's been times when our batteries, brand new batteries, are just flat dead. There's times when
Yeah, I wonder what's up with that, with like the batteries dying. Let's go ahead and, I guess we'll put that under the woo-woo stuff. Woo-woo. Where's the woo-woos? Batteries. Batteries dying. Cameras also dying. Like permanently.
They've been reported so much around power lines. They follow power lines, and there's something going on. I've thought for years and years there's something going on with these things in energy. And I think that they need energy to do what they do. And you got native lore, which actually say they re-energize in trees. There's people that say they've saw them go into trees. And is that true? I interviewed a guy last year who said...
Well, woo was more used for like a whole bunch of, a huge range of things. Like anything related to any kind of supernatural, magical, paranormal. Let's go look at what the potential definition is. Woo. Woo woo. Urban Dictionary for woo woo. Urban Dictionary says excessively new agey, interested in astrology, non-scientific, religious or mystically inclined, sometimes abbreviated simply as woo. Another definition says woo-woo goes far beyond the non-scientific. It's interesting. Why would they say non-scientific? It is the spiritual nature of life itself in all ways. Woo-woo is the very nature of love and light itself in peaceful, inspiring ways and practices. And then this is a League of Legends meme. Woo da woo woo. You guys got the new Narkills CD. Narkills is the best band. Oh, it's a band. I see. It's not League of Legends, but it's kind of like, but not exactly. Is there a better definition of woo woo? Woo woo definition. Okay, here we go. Here it's spelled with O's as opposed to U's. I think I like woo, the U better. Woo-woo, adjective, dubiously or outlandishly mystical, supernatural, and unscientific. Or unscientific, rather. What else? Recent examples on the web. But in the 1970s, when criminal profiling and psychoanalysts were considered fringe science, even woo-woo, Dr. Anne Burgess was leading the charge to legitimize this field of study. Woo-woo like oh-oh, yeah, and woo-woo like ooh-woo. Yeah, they both have their moments, I guess. Officially it is woo-woo like oh-oh, but I think I like woo-woo like ooh-woo instead. Here's my issue with woo-woo being used in conjunction with the word unscientific. Because unscientific, I guess let's start with scientific. Scientific should be the analysis and testing of hypotheses. And so to study things that are supernatural, mystical, etc., in a scientific way still makes it sort of scientific, because you start with a hypothesis that you have to either prove or disprove, run multiple trials, run multiple different things until you can see whether or not you end up at the same result. it would be unscientific if you're just making claims and statements without consistent if you're lacking consistent results. So the way I understand it, things can be both woo-woo and scientific, but they can also be woo-woo and unscientific. So I think I have an issue with this specific definition in which it says that it is unscientific. Good point. Maybe you should complain. I am. That's why I have my whole entire thing here where I'm gonna capture all of my evidence in one big spot. Woo-woo and the woo-woo. Fun fact. What's your fun fact? At Bunky. You have some woo-woo in your history? Is that what you're about to say? Fun fact, so when you go to, quote, truth, unquote, it'll show you Christian Science's definition. Oh. Is that also at Merriam-Webster? Guess I got my message. Okay, Merriam-Webster. Let's check it. Truth. You claim it says it'll show you Christian Science's definition. Christian Science, God. God is... Truth means God in Christian Science. It's pretty cool. Okay, apparently.
Don't we, how much do you defer to the place you're at in lieu of your survival?
The survivalist hard drive operates in the moment. I don't want to die now. It doesn't operate for 100 years from now or 200 years from now. If I tell you I found an asteroid and it's going to take us out in 500 years, you say let somebody else worry about it. So you're not thinking about the species, you're only thinking about your own ass.
And I don't know that feels selfish. It feels in me. I don't know, it seems woven into my DNA.
Yeah, is it bad or is it just the reality of it?
Yes.
And I can tell you, my access to people's sentiments like that came through the fact that I received these letters from people. Mm-hmm. It's angst. Someone said, you know, I heard the world's going to end in 2012, and it's a kid. The adults are saying, you remember the whole 2012 script?
There's wisdom to be found. Tell me about the specific letter. It's a style of common sense. It is a...
Oh, that's nice. I take that as a compliment.
Yeah,
right. It's a
I'm just saying, I think there's wisdom to be found. Tell me about the specific letter.
Yeah, so just one particular case. This doesn't involve religion, but it involves a belief. Someone wrote in and said very politely, Dr. Tyson, do you think there could be a large hairy ape wandering the Pacific Northwest? Okay, so this is like code for, together now, Bigfoot, all right? So I said, well, you know, we think we've discovered all the large mammals. We think we have. There's some animals bottom.
This is also part of my argument. People who make the statement or have the belief that we already know everything, we've discovered all the aminals. We know, keyword being no, we know that there's no such thing as Bigfoot. But again, the scientific process invites us to continually test our hypotheses. If science has all the answers, which technically it doesn't, because the scientific process is technically a question more than an answer. The scientific answers are our current understanding of how we perceive the world, given the tools we have to measure things and test things. It would be fairly unscientific to say that we already know things that do exist and don't exist. if science has all the answers and if science is over, then there's no more need for science. We don't need any more scientists ever. If science is ogre, then we don't have to keep going into space. We don't have to keep trying to go to Mars, because if we can't do it now, then we can't do it ever. If we can't know for sure right now that a Bigfeets exists, then I guess science is ogre. We don't even have to bother testing it. Oopsie whoopsie.
Of the ocean, because we don't hang out there. Occasionally one shows up. There's a new one.
And that too, yeah. The oceans being deep and massive. Deep and massive, huh?
We think we've discovered all the large mammals. We think we have. There's some animals bottom of the ocean. Because we don't hang out there. Occasionally one shows up. There's a new one. Most of the animals we're discovering are much smaller and much less. And plus, I said if it's an ape of any kind,
a monkey,
it's a mammal, and it reproduces sexually. So there's got to be at least 2 of them. If there's 2 of them and they're still around, there got to be some babies.
Yes.
And if they're babies, then you got to find poop somewhere.
Yes.
You don't need the animal. You just need evidence of the animal to convince people. So I said, I find it unlikely. And he writes back and says, for a scientist, I thought you'd be open-minded, but you are so closed-minded. And so then it turned out he was angry. And I said, here's what you do. Try to spend more time finding the thing and dragging it into town square than trying to convince people that it exists in the absence of that evidence.
Watch new episodes of Larry.
He is religious. He said a lot of crazy stuff. That Neil deGrasse. Oh, like what? Let's see. Crazy things Neil deGrasse Tyson did? No, things he said. I don't care about what he did. Vice. The first thing that pops up is Vice. Neil deGrasse Tyson, please shut the fuck up. When was this published? This was published February 27th, 2020. Is this about that accusation about that one woman who said that he touched her inappropriately? The acclaimed astrophysicist and accused rapist. Well, they said accused. The acclaimed astrophysicist and accused rapist and mass shooting minimizer, I remember that, and serial bad poster needs to log off. Wow, so brave. Go off, Queen. Drew Schawrtz. Oh, he's religious. He said a lot of crazy stuff, and then when I ask you for what he said, you don't remember? What the heck? You can't make that claim and then not provide me any evidence. Okay, this is from 2020. Neil deGrasse Tyson, the internet's resident mansplaining science troll. What the heck? This guy's got a rage boner for our good old NGT. The internet's resident mansplaining science troll has yet again graced this world with an idiotic take. Oh my goodness. This is like if a Redditor and a blue checkmark Twitter person had a child. Yikes. Coming in hot. What's this under? This is under entertainment. Coming in hot out of absolutely nowhere for no discernible reason, as is his wont, he's decided to go after Arrival, Denis Villeneuve's staggeringly good 2016 sci-fi movie. Who I think I've heard of. Okay, I've heard of the name, and I also want to watch this movie. I heard it's pretty good. Competency porn for philologists and linguists. I don't know if I want to read further then, if I might get spoilers. Fuck, I'll read it. He's decided to go after Arrival, Denis Villeneuve's staggeringly good 2016 sci-fi movie. The film's unforgivable offense? Failing to sufficiently address the fact that when an alien writes on two-sided glass with weird alien ink, the image it draws might be backwards, or something. It would be one thing if Neil deGrasse Tyson had a point, however unhelpful and inane that point may be, but he does not. For starters, the movie does actually address this in the form of a Jeremy Renner voiceover. But more importantly, if this were the only time Tyson had flagrantly and publicly showed his ass on Twitter. He showed his ass on Twitter? The heck? Why is this guy, Drew Schawrtz, looking up ass pictures of Neil deGrasse Tyson? If this were the one time he had flagrantly and publicly showed his ass on Twitter, I would leave him be. But no, we have been dealing with Neil deGrasse Tyson's stupid bullshit for too long now. Oh my goodness, this guy is so insufferable. But I'm gonna keep reading. Oh my god. This lady is like me, doesn't like him, but not sure why. We gotta look into the Drew guy. He seems like a fool. Capital F, capital O, capital O, capital L, fool. It is past time we say enough is enough and forcefully, collectively, call upon him to log off. For years, we've had to suffer through his patronizing, infuriatingly nitpicky takes on Marriage Story, Star Wars, Armageddon, Leap Days, the word awesome, Friday the 13th, whether sex hurts sometimes. At best, these tweets are intolerably obnoxious. Oh, he's projecting. At worst, they're flat out offensive, like this one, posted immediately in the wake of mass shootings in El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio. To be sure, all of it, I have a thingy that blocks the widget, so we can't see the tweets here, but I'm pretty sure he's said some pretty interesting things. To be sure, all of these tweets suck complete. Why is this guy talking about sucking ass and looking at Neil deGrasse Tyson's ass pics on Twitter? What the heck? He just wants to... Well, I'm not going to say what he wants to do to Neil deGrasse Tyson's ass, but I think we can get a pretty clear picture. To be sure, all of these tweets suck complete ass, but let's put them aside for a second. Three women have credibly accused Tyson of sexual assault and harassment, including one who claims he drugged and raped her in the 1980s, something he wrote off as a, quote, false memory in his terrible, no good, very bad apology. He's adding the simplest word vomit for synonyms of bad that he can think of. In his terrible, no good, very bad non-apology to his alleged victims, the accusations nearly cost him his show on National Geographic and Fox until he was cleared by internal investigations and went back to work. The same thing happened at the American Museum of Natural History, where he was ultimately allowed to keep his job running the Hayden Planetarium. Meanwhile, this is happening. And then there's another tweet here that I can't see. Is there no justice in this world? Will he continue to sit idly by while an alleged rapist ostensibly looks down his nose at us, doing condescending, totally unprompted, objectively terrible tweets all day? Are we just going to let this man continue to be the fucking worst? No. The time to act is now. Let us all raise our voices once and for all, and let Dr. Douche know exactly what he needs to do. Neil deGrasse Tyson, retire, bitch. Sign up to our newsletter and get the best of advice delivered to your inbox daily. Follow Drew Schawrtz on Twitter. Let's go see what kind of amazing work he has. I just saw his picture and of course he looks like that. Of course he looks like that. Why wouldn't he? New York is home to dozens of professional graphers who make a living by hounding celebrities for autographs and flipping them for cash. a colorful 72-year-old named Radio Man is the best in the business. My debut in the New York Times. He's only made a few tweets this year. February 15th, May 21st, May 22nd. His pin is from March 17th, 2023, so it seems like he's logged off the internet for quite a while, which I'm sure is healthy for him. I think he needs it. Good on you, Drew. He looks like he's hanging. yeah, he definitely does. Okay, this was 4 years ago, February 2020. Let's see what other kind of articles. His most recent article was June 7th, 2023. It is a review of LG earbuds. What other kinds of things was he doing back in 2020? Man. He's probably super angry with Musk. Oh, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Pretty sure he most definitely is right now. Right this very now. Lady Gaga, why is she here? We're in 2021. We're getting closer. November, October 2020. August 2020. He has 115 pages. May of 2020. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is March. March of 2020. Okay, this next page should have it. Bernie Sanders has a very Bernie Sanders taste in movies. Okay, so the article before his Neil deGrasse Tyson one is, surprise, people are making terrible TikToks about coronavirus. Whoa, no shit? From deeply irresponsible misinformation to flagrant racist skits, TikTokers are having... That's just the entire internet. That's not just TikTok. That was in February 26th, one day before his Neil deGrasse Tyson thing. And then one day after his Neil deGrasse Tyson thing is, tons of artists are canceling show because of coronavirus. Nice. Entertainment. A man forced a woman to help him rob a bank on this first date from hell. This sounds like a fake story. I don't think this is real. This sounds like something... He was probably browsing Reddit and he saw somebody talking about this. The woman in the date was talking about this, and then he thought it was real, so he published the story. Okay, he links to a CNN article here. They met on a dating app, then he robbed a bank on their first date and forced her to be the getaway driver. Okay, where is CNN's evidence for this? Are there any statements from the police? Oh, okay, here we go. Christopher Castillo, the unnamed woman's would-be Robin Hood, pled guilty this week to armed robbery on 3 counts of assault and battery on a police officer, all committed on their first date on December 5th, 2016, the heck? According to the Bristol County District Attorney's Office. He saw a TikTok of an AI voice reading a Reddit post. Well, surprisingly, this actually happened. So he wrote an article about another article. Yes, that's what he does. When he doesn't write an article about another article, he just rants at popular people on Twitter. Okay, well, that is Drew. Wait, oh, okay, that is Drew Schawrtz, who probably hasn't tweeted very much since 2023. Okay, I'm getting pretty tired, so I'm gonna finish the skull, and then I guess we'll call it there.
The thing was 4 foot wide in the shoulders. It came off behind this tree, and he only seen part of it, and then it walked away after. I said, well, how big was the tree? The tree was only 2 foot around. So this was a firefighter. He was sounded very credible when I talked to him. He had been messing with Bigfoot, or Bigfoot had been messing with him. Let's put it that way. They do mess with you, by the way. They will toy with you. They will follow you inside or outside the trails. You may not see them because if they are cloaked, and I don't like that word, but so many people say they cloak. I know they do cloak. How they do that is energy, mass to energy, and then back again through the vocal mechanism, which is very expansive. Regarding Albert Osman, he was supposedly kidnapped by male Bigfoot, carried back into the woods in British Columbia. This is 1924. And he was held for 6 days and ended up escaping. He gave a good report, and it's accepted pretty much by all researchers as being authentic because he explains everything about his escape and how it all happened. And he sounds very credible. However, when I went into Toby Inlet with a couple of investigators, I flew my plane over that area.
Why is he doing that?
Biggest part of a day, looking for the place where he could have been kept. Flew into Toba Inlet, dropped down to 1,000 feet where he said he'd seen the ships. Am I going into too much detail on this? And you could not see the ships from where he was. I think he was telling the truth, except I think when he got interviewed in 1950s by John Green, I think he looked at the map and said I was at Toba Inlet.
John Green, the YouTuber?
I don't think he was in Toba Inlet. There's a lot of inlets up there, but interesting story. I got to talk about time, because time as we perceive it, oh, it's going to be hard. It doesn't exist. Everything's in the now. Again, I said there's yesterday we know, there's today we think we're experiencing, and there's tomorrow that we hope comes along. That's linear time. That doesn't exist outside of this 3D environment that we're in. Once you get into the other dimensions, time is not real. Can these things manipulate time? I don't think they manipulate. I think they just could drop out of it and come back in when they want to. And that's what time travelers can do. According to physics, time travel.
That would be so useful. I wish I could have that power. Maybe I gotta go out in the woods to go camping for a bit. Try to get a Bigfoot mentor to teach me how to cloak, how to shapeshift, how to time travel. That'd be so good. I could go back in time and work on my stuff and have even more time than I do now. What the heck?
Travel is possible. Now, that used to be the butt of jokes, and it might still be with some people, but according to physics, it's possible. So can they manipulate time? I don't know. So what are the mysteries around the Sierra camp? Plenty. In fact, when you go up there now, nothing would surprise me. Last time I was up there in 2018, nothing happened. But in 2016, something did happen. My wife and I were up there. We seen this light go streaming by our tree slowly. We watched it for several seconds. It was a bolt of light. I taught it like a lightsaber in Star Wars, just glowing light, manipulating through the trees. What do you do with that? But that's not so unusual. Up there we had lights following us around sometimes. We heard sounds that were unidentified. One time I thought this sounded like a big tuning fork above our heads. This is in daytime. You look up there and there's nothing, you can't find the source of it.
There was one month. I think I have a recording of it. I'd have to go find it. I don't. I probably definitely wasn't a Bigfeets or the Great Mouse, but at night there would be this tone that sounded like somebody hit a bell, like a huge church bell, and it would just hum in the air for a while. I have no idea what it was, and I don't think anybody else ever mentioned it who was there. I gotta go find that recording and see if I can... I don't know if that's what a tuning fork would sound like if it's huge and above them, But maybe it was aliens. Maybe it was a Bigfeets in the middle of New York City.
And these things sound too incredible, but it happens, and it happens to a lot of people. I think a lot of people are starting to realize there's more going on than what meets their eyes. So there's that. One time we thought there was a herd of horses coming down. There's no horses doing that. One time I thought I heard a car door slam outside. A car door slam? No. They can make any sound I think they want to, which makes them great mimics of any other animal they want to be. They can make a sound like your dog. They can actually call your dog's name when there's no dog around you. They can call your friend's name if they've heard it, and they'll throw you like that. But they're toying with you. In 2012, Scott Nelson and I had spent three trips up there trying to get into the camp. This one trip I went up and I was injured. I got thrown off my horse and broke a rib and cracked a rib. Went back down to where my daughter Rhonda was staying, my granddaughter Wendy, and stayed there for a couple of days while I could heal up because I couldn't drive my truck back. And Rhonda early that morning saw a Bigfoot run across this little field where she's had her tent. Wendy, which is my granddaughter, was walking this trail over here, and she knew Wendy was going to see it too because that's where the thing ran. When Wendy came back, she asked, "Did you see something?" And she said, "Yeah, I did." "Oh boy, somebody else seen the Bigfoot like I did." "No," Wendy said, "I seen a big wolf come right out in front of me, look right at me."
It's a dog man.
Just a second, and then shot right up the mountain. Now this is probably about 12 miles from where our camp is, but it's as a crow flies.
Okay, we gotta go find dogman evidence as well into the cryptoid obsidian files. And then we gotta ask white women whether or not they would.
Is a lot shorter, but you go off this really rugged area here to get to where this campsite was where we're staying. Later, we found a trackway, very deep trackway. This thing had to go down 1.5 inches, 2 inches deep. I got a picture of that. Scott Nelson couldn't even get his feet the stride this thing had. And then that trackway just stopped. Now that threw me because up till then I thought, well, trackways just can't stop. Somebody's playing with somebody here. A lot of researchers will throw the whole report away because the trackway stopped. Well, again, it gets right into my quantum theory. If mass can turn into energy, energy has no weight. So the mass, which they are very heavy, if they can manipulate their vocal mechanism into changing their frequency to change into energy, they wouldn't have density, which wouldn't make a trackway anymore. The one sighting, the only sighting I've had was in 1974 when my friend and I took our horses and mules in to take supplies in, and that's when they started dealing with us outside the shelter. Up until then, they hadn't dealt with us until we were inside the shelter. And but this time they started pounding on rocks, they started beating on trees, and rhythmically. And then you'd hear whooping sounds. And we'd learned from doing this for 3 years that you just leave it alone, don't mess with them, just ignore them, and they will come closer. And that's just exactly what happened. They started whooping and making sounds. Actually, some type of vocalization directed at me outside the shelter. This is a big night. So I started yelling back at them. And this thing, I was mimicking it, and I think they thought that was funny. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of conversation going between them, and then I would try to mimic back and forth. I recorded this too, which is pretty cool.
The problem with making a full-size image like this, to make it this size, is that if I want to make it an emote, I have to make it visible when it's tiny. So I might have to redo the lines here, make them a little bit thicker for the emote. But for the full-size picture, I can definitely, leave it like this. I guess it does look like a big paw.
And that's the night I got to record what I was seeing, because the samurai cry came from behind us, shot down through the trees. I seen it inhumanly fast going down to where the other two were. And anyway, that's what happened that night. Very exciting night. Went on for about an hour, started up the next night too, but then one of the guys who came in the next day was frustrated about the whole thing because he's trying like Jello to the wall. You can't pin it down. It's just too mystical, too crazy. Stuff goes on.
It's too woo-woo.
Picked up his rifle, his flashlight, starts flashing. Don't shine your flashlight out there. That'll get rid of him real quick. Picked up his rifle, his flashlight, and said, I'm going to find out what's going on. And that was it for the whole weekend. Nothing else happened. They don't like to be exposed. They don't want human exploitation of them. They want us to experience our lineal timeline and take our challenges as they come in our life and treat them with the right vibrational frequency.
Patches?
And it just...
what dick?
It's a crazy life.
Wait a second.
Dealing with this subject matter.
That's life.
And all the people you run into, the different stories, and you try to put them all together in a coherent way so that it makes some kind of a picture for you. And that's what I've been doing my whole life, is drawing a picture. And that's, if you remember for something, I want to remember for a picture that maybe I got completed. That would be great. There's a lot of people who claim...
He wants to be remembered as being a Bigfeets truther, a woo-woo investigator and proponent and advocate.
Seem to have had rocks thrown at them. They never got hit, but they get rocks thrown over their heads or something. One of the guys coming up there one time, he's coming in from a different way, had some big rocks thrown over him. That's the only time I've heard rocks being thrown around our camp in the Sierras. However, I've heard reports a lot over the years of people saying they had rocks thrown at them.
No!
Went up to, Alberry and I went up to a place, Northern California one time. These guys way back in the mining area said that they've been seeing these things. They've been having things happen to them. We went up there, standing around this campfire at night, and this rock comes zipping by us. Sounded like an arrow going by. Hit this tree. Seen where it knocked the bark off. These guys left. And whatever threw that thing had to have one heck of an arm, I got to tell you, because it's like there's no catapult up there. I mean, something did that. And I was there. Alberry recorded it, and it just sounded like an arrow going by us. It was so fast. And the rock hit this tree, and we found it the next morning. But we did spend the night. Nothing else happened. But I think the reason they throw rocks is to keep people from coming that direction. It's either because of a little one around, or it's because something's going on that they don't want you there. And obviously they don't want you there. They don't want to try to scare you off. A good friend of mine who lives up here in the Olympics, he had a rock thrown over his head, a huge rock. He turned around and seen what threw the rock. That'll wake you up. And it'll also, you know, yeah, a lot of people, they don't even get past the thing, oh, if these things existed, science would know it. Well, science does know it. They just don't tell us because it throws a kink into Darwinism, throws a kink into religion, it throws all the history books are going to be rewritten someday.
Why is he talking about kinks for?
I think some Bigfoots could just be a relic hominid. They've grown up through the shrinks, just like the troglodytes did, but something's manipulated them, their DNA. Some maybe are more fresher than that. They've been manipulated sooner by different types of aliens, possibly. And where does Bigfoot fit into the whole picture? They are more advanced, I think, than we are, or they know things that we have yet to learn. They know how to live on the earth without all these cars and homes and building roads. They live like we're intended to live, and we're not living like that. I think we are a race of beings that are on the way to destruction. We're destroying the earth, we're destroying ourselves. This whole planet is being screwed up by us. They're not screwing things up, and they won't interfere because we have to go through this. We have to go through this and learn from our mistakes. I think the elongated skulls I've experienced in Peru and Bolivia, those are from some type of a hybrid race of beings, and I think they were created for living into this environment. The pyramids, they were created by something with advanced intelligence. There's been hominids here with advanced intelligence, more intelligent than what we have and what we're using right now anyway. We have a long way to go as a race and as a species. How do we get there? I think you need to meditate And when you meditate, that means you're able to receive things. You got to clean up your diet, learn how to receive and not ask all the time. Prayer is when you're asking for something. Nothing wrong with that, I guess, but meditation is when you receive. And if you just meditate for 20 minutes in the morning, before things get disturbed and before your brain starts analyzing everything, just relax. Get your heart, your brain coherent with each other so they're rhythmically working together, and that's a vibrational frequency. You get those vibrational frequencies working, you will advance and you will raise your level. What can we learn from them? What have I learned from them? What have I learned from Bigfoot? Well, I've learned that they're existing, number one, and they seem to have attributes that we don't understand, but we're trying to understand them through the laws of quantum physics, and I think that's the rule that will allow us to understand them. They are here to experience this environment. I think that's what any species is here for. Could there be a dog man? Yes, there could be a dog man.
Yes.
Because there could be anything out there. No, that can't be. What could it be? Is there portals? Yes, there is portals. NASA's been studying portals. It's a magnetic anomaly that goes on. Just like the Skinwalker Ranch that's been studied, it's been funded by the government. Our tax dollars actually gave a lot of money for that. And so there's something going on there. Could it be what my granddaughter saw when my daughter saw Bigfoot and all of a sudden she saw
Some food in a second. No, you can't stand on a tablet.
I said, I had to be a fox. She knows it's a wolf. She knows the difference. She's a teacher, actually. So anyway,
What happened? What happened? What's that? What's that? What? What's the mattress? Huh? You want to go play? You want to eat? I'll get you food in a second, okay?
What else could be out there? No tellings. Just don't close your mind, don't close your eyes, and keep alert, because some of these things are known to eat people, some of them are known to help people. That's why you have to know who you are as a human being, made in the image of a very special alien. I think we are hybrids if you really want to get into it. We were
what the heck?
Just brought up through the troglodytes. Our physical bodies might have been, but what put our
I literally pressed brush, but okay.
What put the cognizance in us? Why are we like we are with all the other stuff we got on? Darwin doesn't explain that in his theory. Doesn't explain how we got to be who we are inside here. And that's important to know who you are as a human being, because we have been given dominion on this planet. Bigfoot hasn't been. Aliens haven't. We have been. We are very special people. And I think you've got to realize that. Once you know that, you won't fear anything anymore. I talked down here at the local, one of the supervisors asked me if I would speak down here at the Civic Center. It only holds 100 people. He was afraid it wouldn't anybody come because so many things going on that very weekend. And you couldn't put any more people. You had to lock the door to keep them coming in. This place was packed. And I was the only speaker, and they were really interested in the subject matter because there's so much going on. And the biggest question is why they don't find bones. How come you don't find remains? Because they got a way to get out of that. And it's what I've talked about this whole evening. They either go out of this dimension into another. I think they live in the fifth dimension. I think that's where we're supposed to be headed for. We are supposed to be headed for there. And you die, religions will think, the religious people will say when you die, you're going to go to heaven. Physicists will say when you die, you're going to change forms and just the energy is going to go somewhere else. They won't speculate on where, but energy, as we all are, cannot die. You can only change forms. That's a matter of fact. So when you get into that and understand that that's true, you realize there's no separation between what religions will call heaven and what physicists might call dimensions. Well, according to native lore, they take care of their own, whatever that means. So if they, who knows? You don't find them, so something happens to them. And of course, anything, you leave it out in the woods long enough, nature takes care of it. It just goes. I ran across a deer carcass going up to camp one time, a fresh one. In fact, we just ran off a bear from it and just got it. And there it was. So we come back a few weeks later, or a year later, let's say. You see a few bones around. Come back a year after that, you don't find a bone or nothing. You know, it's just all gone. And nature will clean itself up. So, but does that happen with Bigfoots if they die? I don't know. I know this, we haven't found one. What I think creates awareness for people, I think it all started in 2012 with the Mayan calendar. I think there's an opening of an awareness or an enlightenment type age that we're going into. I think the more people that are listening to programs like this and doing what you guys are doing are going to be enlightened more. They will start putting it together. They will realize there's more going on than what meets their limited vision, what meets their limited abilities. That's what I think it takes, just more information and more people opening their minds up to, because most people haven't seen one. They can't see with their eyes it doesn't exist. Well, that's ridiculous. And
just like how for most people who live paycheck to paycheck, if they don't see their bank account or their credit card debt with their eyes, then it doesn't exist.
Really, I think more and more people become aware that there's a possibility they could be out there, but still there's a lot of people that just laugh at it. And they think it's funny because they couldn't exist or science would tell us. Well, science doesn't tell us everything. That's just all there is to it. Our government doesn't tell us everything. Our government knows these things exist.
He's a conspiratoid? He knows the government doesn't tell us everything?
They do. And for people just to deny that they don't exist because they haven't seen one or because the government hasn't told them they exist is ludicrous, really. They just got to open up their minds, and I don't want to down anybody for not believing they have that choice, but that just means they got their head in the sand. No disrespect, but you got your head in the sand. If you want to ignore the thousands of reports that are out there, you can do that. But does that mean everybody's lying? Everybody's misconceived? Everybody's screwed up? What does that mean about all these people that are saying this all over the world, all over the United States, all over the Pacific Northwest now? People are saying they see these things. Well, does that mean they're ludicrous? They're crazy?
Yes.
What does that mean?
What does it mean?
Open up your minds because they're out there. Good or bad, whatever they are, there's both. Just keep your guard up and watch for it because you won't see it unless you're looking for it. Abraham Lincoln said that. You only see what you look for. You only find what you look for. A lot of people say they smell something horrible when these things are around. Well, we didn't have smells like that up there. It just wasn't. And they were in feet of us outside the shelter. They were around us a lot up there. So I don't know if they can protrude a smell or give a smell out. Maybe it's ones that haven't had a shower or hadn't swum through the lake in a long time. I don't know. But these things, we didn't have a bad odor to them. At the beginning, did we think about Bigfoot? No. Bigfoot was not part of our conversation. It was not part of our thinking process. We didn't elaborate on those things, yes or no, could they be? But when the guys came out with this report, I knew them all personally. We were very friendly. We knew each other, so I believed them. They're not ones to just give away to any notion. They're business guys. I was a businessman, and I'm just trying to say we're not slouches. we didn't believe, but we didn't disbelieve. And then once this happens, you got to believe because something up there with big feet, 5 toes.
Big feet.
Making the sounds. No one's fooling us. I mean, we took a scientist up there to do a fonta study, and he dug around looking for wires, looking for anything in the trees that could have been hung in a speaker because these sounds were so huge and so much amplitude in them. Somebody said, you got to have that study done or someone's going to say you had somebody up there playing with you. Nobody was playing with us except for Bigfoot.
Okay, so now we have a much better understanding of who Ron Morehead is, and that he is in fact indeed in the woo-woo camp about the Grey Lamaux and the time traveling and the vibrations. Guys, help me buy something that'll help me get more vibrations. I need well, what's that called? A thingy that vibrates. I need one of those. And most of what I knew before about Ron Morehead is that he was in the Sierra Sounds. I knew he was an outdoorsman of some kind. And this does elaborate a bit more about who he is, where he stands, which camp he's in, what he believes. So going forward, anytime he's mentioned, anytime he's in the conversation, I will have an idea of who they're talking about. Phew. Okay. Guess I'll save it here. And we will pick up on this next time. I don't know if I'm gonna keep working on this on Monday for the birthday stream. I do have... I have 2 randomized versions of Pokemon's Coliseum ready from... I was testing it last year. But I tried to run the randomizer again for Coliseum again and for XD, and they do not work, and I don't know why. So I'm gonna have to go look into if I can fix it or not. Because my thinking is, if I run into a game over state with my limited captures available to me of shadow Pokemons, I might swap over to XD, a randomized version of XD, and if I run into an end state there where I can't continue, then I'll go back to the next randomized Coliseum. And we will see. We will see what happens. Okay, let me close this, or I guess minimize that. I will keep building my stuff here. I definitely need to think about how I'm gonna make this layout. The Ubu database. Well, there's gonna be the Ubu page, which lists all the people in the Ubu camp, and not all of it will be Ubu. Patches. Okay, I gotta take care of Patches, so I will leave it here. Patches. Okay, so thankfully I did not have any spooky things appear on the screen. If nothing else messes me up on Monday, then I will stream again on Monday for the birthday stream. And we will play Pokemons and try to have some memes. So, until then, thank you for watching. Good luck, have fun, don't die, don't be stupid, try not to swallow your tongue. Try not to suck your own dick. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.